Half forward from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, number 89, Sam Huck. And in between the pipes from Redondo Beach, California, number 32, Calvin Vashon.
The lone Blackhawks scratch today is Brendan McMorrow, who has missed the weekend at the World Junior A Challenge, which begins on Monday. He's there with Blackhawks head coach Matt Smaby and strength coach Spencer Papinga. Our referees for this game, Miroslav Iretz and Kevin McManus, the linesman Duncan Magera and Jacob Rosenberg. That's it for pregame coverage. The puck drop on this Sunday afternoon coming up as the Blackhawks host the Sioux City Musketeers. We get going next on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
Whatever your project and wherever you are, Karen's Print Right can handle all your printing needs under one roof. This is Blackhawks coach Matt Smaby. From design to delivery, Karen's Print Right does it all. Forms or business cards for your office, invitations or envelopes for special events, yard signs, rubber stamps, screen printing, and so much more. Find all the details at karensprintright.com, where you can also request a quote right from home. Karen's Print Right on Falls Avenue in Waterloo, and open online around the clock at karensprintright.com.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at US Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smartertogether. Member FDIC.
Shop, donate, or volunteer to help Habitat for Humanity at the Restore in Waterloo. Whether you purchase or donate furniture, building materials, or appliances, you make it possible for families in Northeast Iowa to achieve home ownership in decent, affordable housing. Visit the Restore at 4107 Hammond Avenue in Waterloo, or check them out at webuildhabitat.org/restore. Help Habitat do more. Shop the Restore in Waterloo.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by customer. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
When it's hockey time in Party Town, the Blackhawks are on. 1650 The Fan.
The visiting Sioux City Musketeers playing 3 games in 3 days for the first time this season, wrapping up the 3-3 stretch against the Blackhawk team. Also playing for the 3rd time in 3 days. The Blackhawks coming off a 43 shot on goal performance on Saturday against the Dubuque Fighting Saints, but they came out on the wrong side of the final score. 4-3 in overtime. Dubuque prevailed. Let's look one more time at the Coors Light starting lineups. For the Sioux City Musketeers, Samuel Urban in net with Anthony Elaine Sumaki and Oliver Smirniks starting on defense. The forwards from left to right, Giacomo Martino, Landon Gunderson, and Tate Pritchard. For the Blackhawks, Calvin Vashon took the OTL on Saturday. He's 6-4-4 now on the season, a 2.62 goals against mark and a save percentage at 90.2. Michael Phelan and Teddy Mulgrave, the starting defensemen. Matthew Lansing centering Ty Mason and Sam Huck. Brendan McMorrow a scratch. Our referees, Kevin McManus, about to drop the puck out there with Miroslav Iretz, and that opening face-off is controlled by the Blackhawks. The linesmen Duncan Magera and Jacob Rosenberg. Hawks bounce one down toward the left wing corner. Elaine Sumaki challenged behind the net. Huck took it away. He's got it outside the right wing circle into the high slot, but jousted off the stick of Lansing. And Gunderson turns in his own zone back to Elaine Sumaki. Headman pass to Pritchard, but knifed away from him near the Blackhawk line. Here's Lansing the other way for Mason, just onside, right wing circle, dragging, centering. He was looking for Lansing. It was just out of his reach. Rebound Karams off the end wall, back down to the Blackhawks zone. Mulgrave in front of his bench now, coming out to center. Shakes one off the wall, cut off by Elaine Sumaki in his own end. Banks it off the end boards for Pritchard, right of the Sioux City net. Rink wide. Picked up at center by Merniks. Then fed ahead. Here's a shot by Gunderson. Vashon the save. Long rebound off of him back toward the line. Swatted at by Orlowski. It does make it back out to center. Oliver Murnix plays it back to his zone. Return pass, wasn't expecting it, so Deering takes it away, cuts in and shoots, and that goes up high and off the glass in the corner on the left wing side, bouncing out toward the slot, but taken back by Gavin Gary. He gets to the center circle and bounces it down deep to the Blackhawks zone. Petal got to stick to it for Waterloo, and then Morgan Brady stepped behind his net, fell down, pops back up, backhands one that goes off the glass, ricochets out to center. Gavin Gary picks it back up and dumps it in after it took a Sioux City bounce. Hawks trying to get it tapped back up the boards at Vashon's left. Sikora is in the way, squirts into the corner. Klepov had the overtime winner last night, knocked down by Petal. And Brady takes the puck for Waterloo to Grady Deering. Deering then for Orlowski, and the feed missed him. It's going to go for icing against the Blackhawks. That's our first whistle. A minute and 41 seconds into the opening period. The icing call against the Blackhawks. Sioux City credited with the only shot on net so far. Hawks have had a couple of looks, but off the mark for chances that did not materialize with a shot on goal even. Nice idea by Ty Mason looking for Matthew Lansing. That might have been the best look for the Blackhawks, but the two just not quite able to connect. Face off to the left of Vashon, and the Musketeers win the draw. Keefe works his way up the right wing boards. Got away from Petal, cuts in from the side of the net, and his centering feed was broken up. Now Deering backhands one to the line, bouncing puck capped in, but comes right back Deering's way, jousted off his stick by Jeffers, taken back by Petal, then Orlowski into the offensive zone. 1 against 5, Keefe poke checked him, Hawks are changing, and the Sioux City Musketeers get the puck back, fail to clear, into the slot. Morick looks to hand this one off, didn't connect though with Hawkins, who scored in back-to-back games this weekend, and the Fighting Saints recover possession. Spun out to the neutral zone, misses Jeffers, going off of his skate down into Blackhawks ice. Landon Nyes plays it clockwise around the boards for Morick, handing it off to Jete, and it was at his feet. He couldn't receive the puck cleanly. It's Delaney, former Blackhawk defenseman, spun down, and Morick's going to get a penalty here. But first, a look for the Fighting Saints as it gets into the Blackhawks zone, and now play is stopped, and Reed Morick's going to get at least a penalty and maybe more than just a minor. Delaney slow to get up. 2 minutes and 37 seconds into the first period. And the two referees, Kevin McManus and Miroslav Iretz, are going to go and take a look here and decide if they should give more than an initial minor. It will be a video review, and Sioux City is going to have a power play in one form or another. The Musketeers and Blackhawks come in tied for third in power play percentage, each at 25%. Blackhawks 6th in the USHL on the penalty kill at 82.2%. Delaney getting a little bit of help to the Sioux City bench. Again, the Musketeers just dressing 5 defensemen for this game, and Delaney is going down the tunnel to the Sioux City Musketeers dressing room. So, the concern for the Hawks is the shorthanded situation. The concern for the Musketeers is Jake Delaney and what they're going to do without him. And it certainly looks like, by all indications, the Musketeers are going to start this power play with 5 forwards. They've got a huddle near their blue line of 5 forwards. Meanwhile, waiting over near the referee's crease, defenseman Owen Keith. He's representing the Musketeers bench to find out what this penalty call is, as the Blackhawks again will be without their captain for some length of time. Grady Deering now goes over to represent the Blackhawks' interests, as Miroslav Iretz and Kevin McManus continue to look at the video. We've got a little bit of time looking back on those 2 earlier matches between the Blackhawks and Musketeers. A 6-4 Hawks win and a 5-4 shootout victory. It is going to be a 5-minute major penalty to Morick, and it looks like his afternoon is over after just a couple of minutes of game time. Sioux City to a major power play. Finishing up the thought, Waterloo had a lot of balance in their offense against the Sioux City Musketeers back in November. They had 10 different players score a goal and 16 different players with a point. The Musketeers scoring was a little bit more consolidated. They had 3 different players with 3 points apiece. And Samuel Urban, who's in net for this game, stopped 25 of 30 in a loss. Calvin Vashon got a win against Sioux City. He only needed 15 saves to get it. Nicholas Kasiebel will go serve the major penalty. And a big sequence early in this game. Not even 3 minutes into the opening period, a 5-minute major penalty on Reed Morick, and his day is done. Sioux City Musketeers have a chance to get off to a good start. They get control off a draw. Martino slides it into the left wing circle for Tate Pritchard. Back to Martino. Top of the right wing circle and Sikora. Now Martino, all this happening near the top of the circles for Gunderson, who mans the left point now. Then to Martino. They've got a two-man game going. Gunderson slides to the side of the net for Pritchard. Back to Martino. Sets up a one-timer by Sikora. It's a misfire. The Hawks steal, and it's fired off the glass out to the neutral zone by the Blackhawks Montero. This is the second time the Musketeers have had a 5-minute major against the Blackhawks in a game, as Deering takes a puck away, rolls it down to the Sioux City zone. Martino gets back for it, and Jete had a blowout trying to catch up with him, so the Musketeers come up the ice 5-on-3 as Jete tries to get back into the play. Martino leaves it at the Blackhawk line for Sikora on the right wing boards, given a lot of room. And with no one coming to challenge him, Sikora waits for the Musketeers to find their shape. Now plays it behind the net, gets it right back, right half wall, then out to Martino in the deep slot. For Sikora again, behind the Blackhawk net, Gunderson. He'll carry it from below the icing line out to the top of the right circle, turning there, leaving the puck along the boards for Martino. Chopped at by Deering, it came loose. Martino got it back for Gunderson, side of the net, Pritchard. Fed it in front, and it's sent wide by Gary. Picked back up by Pritchard, just over a minute into the 5-minute power play. Gunderson, side of the net for Pritchard. He works below the icing line, doesn't have a way to center it, and now hooks one out toward the high slot. Martino sets up Sikora, a shot, he scores! Nicholas Sikora, a power play goal. Not quite a minute and a half into the 5-minute major. 1-0 Sioux City at 4:03 of the first period, as Giacomo Martino gets his 4th point against the Blackhawks, setting up Nicholas Sikora for the power play goal. When these two teams met in Sioux City, the Blackhawks had a big lead early in the 3rd period of the first game. It was 5-2, and the Musketeers scored twice during a 5-minute power play, made it 5-4, very close. Ultimately, the Hawks sealed it with an empty netter on that night, but here, the Musketeers getting this 5-minute power play early in the game, and a chance to set the tone. They've already got one, just past the 4-minute mark of period number 1, and still on the power play for another 3:25 as the puck's back in play, brought by Merniques to the Blackhawks zone, played to the right wing boards. Pedal forces a Musketeer to turn that, frees the puck up for Mason. He snapped it up the wall, it deflected. Mason follows up, got it out to the neutral zone, then tried to tap it back to Compton, and he's forced back into his zone by Merniques, and the Musketeers take possession of it. Compton steals then, got it back to Mason, banks it out to the neutral zone past Elaine Sumaki, ridden off the puck, but the disc does go down to Sioux City ice for a moment. Musketeers try to bring it back in. They do just onside, shoveled by Klepov into the right wing corner. Orlowski takes it away. Then behind the Blackhawk net, Maldgrave is checked, but it's picked up and cleared by Compton off the glass. Not quite halfway through the 5-minute major. 1-0 Musketeers, almost 5 minutes into the first period. And Pritchard back in his zone to pick up the puck as the Musketeers go back to the line that got the power play goal. Now it's Gunderson, then for Gavin Gary across the Hawk line, leaves it at the left point for Pritchard. He runs into traffic, puck comes free, it's batted at, kicked by Orlowski, who does force it out to center, poked off his stick, but then right onto Lansing. He steps into the Sioux City zone, couldn't split defenders. Musketeers get it back. Gunderson in the neutral zone, goes rink wide for Martino, steps to the Blackhawks end, takes a wrist shot. Calvin Vachon able to kick it aside with his left pad. Sikora recovered it, back out to the right point Pritchard, then to Gunderson, top of the left wing circle. 5.5 into the game, Gunderson moves out to the outer edge of the left ring, then Martino sets up Sikora, he passes up the one-timer, now with under 2 minutes left on the major. Back to Gunderson, above the dot for Pritchard, they trade spots. Pritchard turns, sends it across for Sikora, it was tipped by Lansing and escapes out to center. Martino circles with it, feeds it back to Pritchard, crossing the Blackhawk line, drop past Sikora, sets up shot just off the right wing boards, now trades spots with Martino, goes to the corner with it, then for Gavin Gary, across for Gunderson, a shot, may have been blocked by Schultz, it landed near the side of the goal, the Hawks find it and clear. A minute and a half left to go on the 5-minute penalty. Again, Reed Morick's day is done as he was sent to the Blackhawks dressing room for the high hit on Delaney. Elaine Sumaki left the puck near his blue line, and now it's brought up the rink by Merniques to the Hawk line, missing Klepov. Hawkins trying to get back to it, unable to locate it. Recovered by Merniques, but then it got off his stick, stolen by Bogus behind the Hawk net and cleared down the length of the ice. 4 of the 5 minutes are done on the major penalty. And the Musketeers, Elaine Sumaki feeds one to Merniques. native of Latvia. The Black Hawk line, lays it off to the right wing boards. Dallas View gave it up, poked back out to the neutral zone by Montero. Elaine Sumaki got it back. He and Montero both went down. Puck loose, jabbed at by Petal. Couldn't advance it past the referee's crease. Musketeers try to get it back to the Hawk zone. They do onside, just inside the line. Comes off the wall, stolen by Compton. He turns deep in his own zone. 30 seconds left on the penalty kill. Compton goes behind his net. None of the Musketeers come to challenge him, so he's just going to stay there. Now laying it off to Petal, up the ice, and Montero decides to try to avoid a check and jousted ahead. Pushed it into the Sioux City zone. Musketeers with time for one more rush. It's brought across the Black Hawk line on right wing by Crowder. Fed it in front, deflected. Pushed just wide of the Black Hawk net with a good chance there by Talon Blank. Hawks find it and clear, and that'll do it for the 5-minute Sioux City power play. So the Hawks are burned by a goal early during the major, but only one. And now trail 1-0 back at full strength. They've played more of the game shorthanded than 5-on-5 so far and do not have a shot on goal. Here's a steal in the neutral zone by Townsend. And he's poke checked by Gould. Help arrives from Nyes. Goes to the referee's crease, recovered by Crowder for the Musketeers. Flipped back to the Black Hawk line, brought up right wing by Blank. He curls, waiting for some help as the Musketeers are changing. Takes a shot. Bash on the save, he got run over. And we're gonna have a penalty now against Jackson Crowder. And there are a couple of Blackhawks who want to get at Crowder. Meanwhile, Townsend and Blank tied up. And now the Waterloo Black Hawks are going to go to a power play. 1-0 Musketeers. And both teams sent their separate ways. Will the officials take a look at this? As Vachon got flattened in his crease. 11:52 to go, opening period. And it looks like it will be just a minor penalty on Jackson Crowder. Power play opportunity coming for the Hawks, but first a timeout. Sioux City 1, Blackhawks nothing. Back in 30 seconds on the courtyard by Marriott. Blackhawks Network and 1650 The Fan.
Domino's Mix and Match menu has items for every occasion. Like on your friends open mic night? Flaky bread twists and molten lava cakes should do the trick. Soccer team duty? Medium 2-topping pizzas and stuffed cheesy bread are your best defense. Is it your dog's half birthday? Celebrate his biggest day with savory sandwiches and tender specialty chicken. Mix and match 2 or more items for $6.99 each at Domino's. Ask for this offer, 2-item minimum. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Bone and wings, verbal pasta, and pan pizza will cost extra. Local stores for delivery fees and can charge extra for some menu items.
A 5-minute major penalty to Reed Morick for head contact, sending the Sioux City Musketeers to an early power play. They get a goal from Nicholas Sikora and a 1-0 lead. And now the Blackhawks have a chance to answer after working through the last 3.5 minutes of that Sioux City power play without any further damage. It is a 1-0 Sioux City lead with 11:52 to go in the first period as the Blackhawks go to the advantage with 1 out of every 4 power plays resulting in a goal for the Hawks, including a couple of power play scores and 5 chances last night against Dubuque. Waterloo tied for third as of the start of the night with the Musketeers, who already have a power play goal. Sioux City 7th on the penalty kill at 80.6%. Deering pulled the draw away, but it got caught on a skate, and the Hawks couldn't get possession. It's chopped out to the neutral zone. Dicer to the Blackhawks end. Couldn't get around Compton, and then a follow-up opportunity as Mernix was trailing the play and pushed it toward the net. Vachon makes a save. Hawks still without a shot on goal. Deering goes rink wide looking for Hawkins. He's chasing. It's chopped off by Mintz. Deering able to help keep it in, and then the Musketeers get possession. Mernix takes a hit but clears the puck successfully. 30 seconds gone on this Blackhawk power play. Just over 11 minutes to go in the opening period. Compton back out to the neutral zone. Leaves the puck for Townsend. He steers to the Sioux City line for Deering on right wing, going across at the feet of Hawkins. He turns to the left wing corner, getting possession of it, then for Deering below the icing line in the right corner. Deering banks it back out to Compton. Right point, then to the deep slot for Townsend. Juggles the puck, gets it settled. Side of the net for Deering. Back for Townsend, left wing boards. Deep slot and Compton. Takes a wrist shot, it was blocked. Townsend finds the loose puck. Under a minute left to go on this power play. For Compton, then Hawkins fed it in front, looking for Montero. Went off the toe of his stick into the corner. Townsend picks it back up under some pressure from Jeffress. Shakes the check, gets it across for Hawkins, moves in, shooting, and it went wide. Bouncing puck in the slot. Townsend reaching, got it back for Waterloo. Townsend to the extended goal line, banked it off the end wall, stolen by Mentz, but he ran into Hawkins. Hawks get it back. Townsend couldn't hold it in, and now Jeffress chasing the loose puck near the Blackhawk bench. Good takeaway by Townsend, recovering. Hawks power play time waning. Townsend trying to bank it back ahead. Stolen by Mentz. Banked back the other way. Intercepted by Compton. Compton flips one rink wide. Missed his intended target, Lansing. And dumped back in by the Musketeers. Recovered by Merniques. And the Hawks do recover it. Trying to start up with a late power play rush. Kasiba on left wing. Comes to the offensive zone. Drop pass. Lansing moves in. Couldn't get a shot away. Clinley, then he scores! He was falling to the ice and put it in backhanded just past the skate of Urbon. It wasn't a pretty goal, but it works with 1 second left on the power play. Here come the Hawks as Matthew Lansing makes the best of a bad situation and just pushes the puck toward the net past a surprised Samuel Urbon. 10:08 the time of the goal, and both teams are 1 for 1 on the power play. Give Nicholas Kasiba credit for an assist, setting up Lansing. And the Hawks back even despite being outshot 4-2, and they get a little puck luck with that one. Just past the midway point of the opening period. And maybe a chance for the Blackhawks to reset, overcoming the 5-minute major and its results, and getting things back to even terms. As the puck's back in play, Hawks have their starting unit out there as Huck takes a check, but gets the puck to Phelan. He outlets it left of the net, and it's fed ahead by Mulgrave. Huck was stopped at the Sioux City line, and the Musketeers take it back, then give it back, and now it's Bradley Walker on left wing. Comes to the offensive zone, trying to get around Sumaki, and he and Elaine Sumaki collide in the left wing corner. The Musketeers recover possession of it, and it's fed out to center by Gould. Lays loose in the referee's crease for a moment, then backhanded down into the right wing corner of the Blackhawks zone by the Musketeers Musket, former Cedar Rapids Rough Rider. Hawks recover it deep in their own zone. 11 minutes gone in the first period. Mulgrave outletting it, tipped out to the neutral zone by Walker, trying to get it back from Ty Mason. Leaves it for Mason in front of the Sioux City bench, dumping it in. The Hawks will change. Joseph Mentz for Sioux City. Unchallenged all the way to the red line. Comes to the Blackhawks zone, banking one toward the corner. No one there to receive it. Morgan Brady takes it back for Waterloo, lifting it off the glass. Merniques knocked it down and capped it in, and now he centers it, but it goes off of Gunderson's skate into the right wing corner. Jousted up into the air, gloved down by the Blackhawks and rimmed around the boards by Montero. Not out, though. Brady trying to get it back and has to shovel it behind his net to his defense mate, Peddle. And left of the goal for Schultz. He misfired on a pass across the ice, and the Hawks have to begin again below the dots in the defensive zone. They rim it clockwise. Schultz waiting for it. So is Martino, though, for Sioux City, who took it away momentarily. Now dueling with Schultz, who's just wanting to keep it pinned to the boards until he can get some help. Musketeers take it back. Pritchard turns back to the line, avoids a check from Montero, hands it off, now gets it back. Pritchard moves in, leaves the puck, and Martino couldn't get rid of a shot. Hawks take the puck back. Jete out to the neutral zone. Got to the red line, tried to dump it. It hit the linesman and stayed at center. Picked up by Montero and dumped in. Hawks get a much-needed change here with just under 8 left to go in the first period in a 1-1 game. Gunderson weaves out through the neutral zone. Decides to turn in the center circle. Fed one ahead that was tipped and didn't get to Martino cleanly. He and Deering bang shoulders. Musketeers get the puck back. Errant pass should be icing. It is an icing call with 7:34 left in the first period. The Blackhawks limited to 2 shots on net. This is not an optimal start, and the Hawks really fortunate in some ways to be in a 1-1 game right now. Visit Partytown Outfitters on the concourse at Young Arena for your holiday needs. Filled with all sorts of Blackhawks gear, Partytown Outfitters can help you find the perfect gift for a Blackhawks fan. For a preview, go to WaterlooBlackhawks.com and click on the shop link. The draw in the Sioux City zone, won by the Musketeers, sent off the glass, batted out to the neutral zone. Nyes rolls it back to Compton. Fed ahead and dumped in by Orlowski. Urbon stops it behind his net, then decides to move it clockwise for Klepov. Handing off for Gavin Gary. Rink wide, connects the Blackhawk line with Justin Stupka, the former Omaha Lancer. Swats it up the wall to another former Omaha answer, Nicholas Sikora, but Compton takes it away in some traffic. His pass missed its target. Keith breaks it up at center and tries to reverse it. But in front of the Blackhawk bench, Deering got it back, and Townsend dumps it in. On one bounce, it came to Urban. He decides to play it. And the Musketeers, Sikora back out to center, handing off for Stupka. Sends it off the end wall. Mulgrave for Waterloo. Turns, backhands one up the boards. And Huck flies one through neutral ice. It lands in the Sioux City zone. Elaine Sumaki after it. Anthony Elaine Sumaki turning. Gave it up. Mulgrave a steal, but his quick shot missed the net. Klepov finds the long bounce. And it's Klepov back to the Blackhawk zone. Nearly ran into his own man. Hawks take it away. And Lansing up the ice on left wing into the offensive zone. Dodging a check, then had it jousted away. Klepov wants to speed the other way, one-on-one against Peddle. Klepov to the offensive end. Dangles through his skates, got knocked down. Play continues as Peddle won control of it for Mason. Clockwise around the wall. Mentz with a steal to keep it in to the end boards in Dallas View. Hit there by Peddle. Carrying on though. It's Jeffress feeding it into the crease. Loose puck. Vachon lunges and covers it. After it got into the crease, it bounced away, and Vachon smothering it above the blue paint with 6:01 left to go in the first period in this 1-1 game. We've got a timeout on the ice. Let's take a 30-second pause and come back after this on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friends get your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
1-1, the Waterloo Black Hawks hosting the Sioux City Musketeers. About 6 minutes left to go in the first period. The Blackhawks off for 20 consecutive days after today. They will come back on the 28th of December. They'll play the Fargo Force that night and on the 29th as well. 2 games against Fargo. The only other Sunday game on the Blackhawks home schedule, part of that weekend on the 29th. Get tickets for either of those matchups now or anytime at tickets.waterloobblackhawks.com. Blocker side face-off to the right of Calvin Vachon. Each team with a power play goal in the first period. And again, 3 games in 3 days. And for the Sioux City Musketeers, that means a shortage of defensemen. They started the day with 15 forwards and 5 defensemen. Jake Delaney was hit high by Reed Morick, and that led to a 5-minute major penalty. And Delaney, I would have to say, would be questionable to return based on the way he went to the bench. And so, maybe down to 4 defensemen for the Musketeers, who will be using forwards at least occasionally to cover some of those spots, like Tyler Dicer, who's playing there now at the right point for the Musketeers. There was a miscue on a face-off. The linesman, in fact, now all 4 officials come together to talk about what should happen. And it looks like we're going to have a penalty called here. A delay of game call is going to go against the Blackhawks, who had a couple of face-off false starts, and Sioux City with a power play goal already, going back to the advantage now on a technical penalty against the Hawks. 5:57 to go first period. Each team with a power play goal, special teams representing all the scoring. In fact, not even a lot of chances in the game through a total of 14 minutes of game time, just 8 combined shots on goal. And when you consider that there have been 7 minutes of those 14 played on the power play, just not much yet on this Sunday as the teams play 3-3. But the Musketeers now with an opportunity to break the 1-1 tie with the delay of game penalty against Waterloo. Deering and Walker penalty killing along with Phelan and Mulgrave. Hawks win the draw. Mulgrave fires it off the glass. Leaping attempt by Martino, but he couldn't hold it in. And it skitters back to the Sioux City zone with just under 6 to go in the first in this 1-1 game. Tate Pritchard back to get the puck behind his net for the Musketeers. Decides to let Martino bring it up, and then he leaves it for Pritchard, who snaps it back ahead to Gavin Geary on left wing for Martino. Fed it across in the pass behind his intended target, Gunderson, who was cutting in on the right wing side. But the Musketeers do get the puck back and now have it in the offensive zone. On the right wing boards, it's Sikora to the deep slot, and Martino chips a pass to Gunderson. Then back to Martino for Gunderson one more time, side of the net, and Pritchard. Out to Gunderson, outside edge of the left circle for Pritchard again, who kicks to his stick. Then Gunderson one more time, deep slot Martino, quickly back to Gunderson, side of the goal, and Pritchard. All this happening on left wing, deep slot Martino, then for Sikora in the right wing circle, goes rink wide, Gunderson touch pass, and Pritchard not able to do anything with it quickly, but he's got it one more time. And back for Gunderson, it missed him and rolls out to the neutral zone. A lot of possession, but a miscue, and Sioux City doesn't get a look on that trip into the offensive end. They get it hurriedly back up the ice with Geary turning away from Mulgrave. Forced back to the line, just able to hold it in for Martino, then for Geary in the deep slot. Sends it to Sikora. He tried to kick to his stick and couldn't. Taken away by Petal, up the ice shorthanded along with Montero. Petal for Montero, kept the pass, but was not in a shooting position when he got it settled down. Has to turn it back down to his own zone. Hawks will waste some time here. Back in comes Jete, missing Montero just behind him. Musketeers steal, but then their outlet pass hits a skate, and they'll have to circle the wagons with Kleploff. Time for one more rush on the power play. He gives it to Elaine Sumaki up the ice until he leaves it at his blue line for Merniks. Oliver's Merniks to Nikita Kleploff. Back to Merniks. Drops it out. Left point. Anthony Elaine Sumaki fed it behind the goal. It was off the referee. Comes free, batted out in toward the slot. And Jete found it, couldn't clear it. Hawks get back to full strength. Puck on Mernick's stick at the left point. We got another Musketeer who's down. Puck along the boards behind the Black Hawk net. It comes free. Hawks get control and play stops now. Neither referee here was going to call a penalty. The arm was not up by either referee. Dallas View was the player who was upended. But Miroslav Uretz and Kevin McManus, neither one of them saw anything that was going to lead to a penalty. View is back up. He goes back to his bench with not much assistance. And we got a challenge here by Jason Kersner. He is going to challenge for a head contact major penalty. And so taking a risk here, willing to risk the potential delay of game penalty that would come with the challenge. Jason Kersner is challenging the play, and it's either going to be a power play for the Blackhawks if the challenge does not result in the 5-minute major, or Sioux City will finish the period on a power play. 3:48 to go in the first. 1-1 the score. 9 of the 16-plus minutes in this game have been on the power play for one team or another. The Hawks killing off a 2-minute minor for delay of game just moments before this review. And so we've got Wild Sunday already at Young Arena. Looking ahead, the Blackhawks' next home game on December the 28th. I mentioned that. What I didn't tell you, though, it's the 35th anniversary of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation this holiday season, and the Blackhawks will celebrate with a number of different activities during the game on December the 28th, just after Christmas, and some drink specials too, including Clark's Good Old Fashioned Christmas Eggnog and Aunt Bethany's Jell-O shots. You can get those in the Coors Light Cold Zone if you're 21 or over when the Blackhawks take on the Fargo Force on December the 28th. Also want to let you know that coming up this evening on The Fan, stick around for NFL football starting at 6:30. Pregame coverage of the late game in the NFL on this Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs. They're hosting the LA Chargers. That's tonight on The Fan. Pregame coverage at 6:30. It's been a relatively slow-moving first period in some regards because of some penalties. This is our second review. After an earlier review confirmed a 5-minute major against Reed Morrick, this is a challenge by the Sioux City bench, hoping for another 5-minute major. And it doesn't look like the Musketeers are going to get the call, and the Blackhawks will be going to their second power play instead. Big risk here by the Musketeers. They must have felt they'd seen something with the hit on Dallas View, because again, Sioux City does not have a lot of defensemen. They started with 5. They might be down to 4 now. And they are risking a run in here with the Blackhawks power play unit, which has already scored a power play goal today. 3:48 left to go in the first period. The delay of game penalty on the Musketeers will be served by Nikita Klepov. Matthew Lansing scored the Blackhawk power play goal in unlikely fashion. With just 1 second left on that earlier power play. We'll see what the Blackhawks can do with another look here. Deering for the faceoff against Mernix. It's at the glove side of Samuel Urban. And some movement before the draw. Montero came off the outside hash mark on the right wing side. As Deering will be tossed out of the faceoff. And now instead it's going to be Montero to take the draw. And the Musketeers win it. Menz steps behind his net, snaps it off the woodwork and down the length of the ice. And the Musketeers start with a face-off win, no waste of time. Hawks, though, have it back. Compton comes up the rink, lays it off for Deering on right wing into the offensive zone. Back to Compton at the right point to the left side, and Teddy Townsend, then to Compton in the deep slot. Trying to get around a shot blocker, puts one toward the net. It goes off the skate wide. Hawkins finds it right wing boards, back to Compton, snapped it ahead. And Montero turns, lost it for a moment, but nudges the puck to Townsend, stretching. Hawks keep the puck, and now Montero a shot. Blocker save made by Urban. Bouncing puck comes back to Compton, holding it in for Townsend left wing boards. Townsend to the side of the net, Deering in front. Hawkins shoots, it was blocked. Hawkins got it back. His second try to flex up into the air, comes down left wing corner. 3 minutes left in the first period, just over a minute to go on the delay of game penalty. Deering left wing corner, trying to drop it back. It deflects off of a Sioux City stick and lands at center. And the Hawks will change power play units. Waterloo looking for their first lead in the game. Tied at 1 right now. Compton steers it back for Townsend. Comes up the ice, fed it across the line. Hawkins touch pass back for Townsend. Bodied off the puck by Elaine Sumaki. Hawks get it in front, and Montero's stuff attempts denied by Urban. Jeffress kicking the puck out to the neutral zone. Hawks take it back, redirected into the offensive end. Townsend on left wing. Final 35 seconds on the power play. Townsend to the end boards and Deering, wrapped up by Elaine Sumaki. Help arriving here from Montero, kick free. Townsend drops it back, deep slot, Nick Bogus. Then for Townsend again, across the ice, and Hawkins gives it back to Bogus. For Hawkins one more time, his one-timer was off the mark. Deering got it back, centering one, missed his intended target, but Townsend spins one toward the goal. It's off of a leg and goes wide. Jeffress picks it up, lifts it off the glass. It goes down deep into the Blackhawks zone. And Waterloo about to be turned away on a power play. Both teams will be 1 for 2 in 5 seconds. Bogus back up the rink, gains the line in the high slot, shooting. Urban makes the save in the butterfly position as Bogus let that one go about the same time left on the penalty where Lansing scored. So the Hawks did get one more look, but this time Urban makes the save, and now the Hawks with 6 shots on goal to 5 for Sioux City. 1:45 left to go in the first period, and maybe, just maybe, after 11 minutes of power play time in the period, we'll finish the first 5-on-5. Draw to the stick side of Urban. Lansing against Mernix for this face-off. Lansing won it cleanly, back to Mulgrave, shooting, he scores! Here come the Hawks! Mulgrave taking the draw that came back his way on the face-off win by Lansing and firing one low that gets stuck in the back of the net behind the back bar like a dart. And Teddy Mulgrave beating Samuel Urban to the stick side gives the Hawks a lead with the first even strength goal of the game. 18-18 the time of the score for Teddy Mulgrave. And for Mulgrave, that's his 5th of the season, the highest count among Blackhawks defensemen. Give Lansing his 2nd point, now a goal and an assist. And Waterloo leads 2-1, scoring 3 seconds after the power play time had ended, albeit with a face-off in between. Lansing wins another face-off, this time at center, and it's Phelan back inside the Blackhawk blue line. Right of his net, now starts out towards neutral ice. Gets in front of his own bench, fed one to Mason, banked it across the line. Mentz shielding it away from Lansing, but then gives it up to Mason. He's got nowhere to go with Mernix bearing down on him, and the Musketeers get it off the wall and back out to center. Led up the ice by Pritchard. Comes to the Blackhawks zone on right wing. Tate Pritchard played in the preseason for the Blackhawks. Not this fall, but the year before. Now gets to the slot, takes a shot, bash on a stick save into the corner at his left it goes. And Mulgrave fed it ahead for Huck. Fed it out to center now. Mason one-on-one against Mentz and has help coming. Mason into the offensive zone. Gave the puck up. He was looking to find Phelan jumping into the rush, and it was broken up. Gunderson comes back the other way with under a minute to go in the opening period. Gunderson drops it into the slot. Martino shot deflects and goes wide. Mernique's along the end boards. Knocked down by Petal. Picked up Gunderson. Drops it back Martino. Out to the line Pritchard. And Pritchard banks it off the kick plate. It goes behind the Blackhawk goal. Petal fends off the check. Shovels a pass to Phelan. Then for Huck. Tapped it out to center. Chased by Deering. Jousts it down to the Sioux City line. Got to the zone. Play would have been offside. Hawks get back onside after recovering the puck at center. They dump it in. 24 seconds left to go in the period. Gavin Gary gave it to Klepoff and then got it back. Goes rink wide. And it's Keith weaving his way out to the neutral zone. Then for Sikora. Bounced it across the line. Townsend takes it away. Townsend with just 10 seconds left in the period. Lifts it down toward the right wing corner. Picked up by Keith. Gets rid of it to Geary. And the Musketeers give it up. Shot by Townsend. Glove save by Urban just before time expired. It was in Urban's glove, and then the clock went to 0. Period is over, but the Hawks do get a takeaway late and a shot just before the period would have ended. It would have counted, I think, had it gone in, but Urban made the glove save, and the Hawks will go to the locker room with a 2-1 lead after a very late opportunity to try to make it 3-1. 2-1 is the score. We'll take a timeout and come back to recap what we've seen so far at Young Arena after this on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
At Green Acre Storage, we can take it. Think of us as storage therapists. We provide
adding 3 to the first 2.
Okay, thank you.
In a complete range of sizes. Feel free to unload on us in our enclosed and heated loading area and ask about our Penske truck rentals and packing supplies. And feel better fast knowing the storage pros at Green Acre specialize in not judging. Go keep your stuff and your secrets. Green Acre. Because life is hard. Storage.
Right now, someone is having fun at Maple Lanes in Cadillac Extreme Bowling Center. Sure, there's fun for bowlers, but there's also gamers, party animals, and anyone who loves good food. If you haven't been to Maple Lanes and Cadillac XCC lately, you don't know how much fun you're missing. Then there's Kingpin Social, open a full menu for lunch and dinner every day. Maple Lanes, Waterloo.com, 2608 University Avenue, CadillacXCC.com, 650 LaPorte Road. Have some fun tonight.
At our store, we have something for all seasons. This is Ted from Ted's Home and Hardware in Evans. This is hockey season, and you know we're proud supporters of the Blackhawks. Be part of the Blackhawks family and stop into our family-owned and operated store for value and the products you need for your home and property.
Find DeWalt power and tools to help take on those tough jobs you need to get done. For over 90 years, DeWalt tools, guaranteed tough.
Save more with Viridian Credit Union. For top shelf savings with lower fees and better rates on accounts, loans, and credit cards. At Viridian, you'll earn more on savings and checking accounts and pay less when you buy or refinance a home or vehicle. That's how our members come out millions of dollars ahead each year. Giving you more. That's the value of Viridian. Go to viridiancu.org to see how you can save. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA.
Bugsy's Pet Solutions, solving problems, that's what we do. Bugsy's Pet Solutions, 239-2772.
It's that time of year. Rodents that are outdoors now will want to come in from the cold. They can bring along diseases no one wants in their home. Stop those rodents from getting comfortable with help from Bugsy's Pest Solutions in Waterloo. 239-2772 or online at Bugsy'sPestSolutions.com.
Blackhawks hockey on 1650 The Fan.
2-1, the Waterloo Black Hawks have the lead at the end of one period, hosting the Sioux City Musketeers on this Sunday afternoon. Third game in 3 days for both teams. The Blackhawks fell behind as Sioux City got the opening goal, but Waterloo does get to the intermission with a lead. And time to tell you about the opening 20 minutes. It was eventful, that's for sure. Reed Morick called for a head contact major in the first 4 minutes of this contest, and that led to a 5-minute penalty. He was given the game misconduct that comes with that major call, and Sioux City to a power play. They capitalized at 4:03. Our scoring summary is presented by Ted Solomon Hardware. Nicholas Sikora scoring from the right wing circle with the puck fed his way by Giacomo Martino. And Sikora putting a low shot toward the net. It was about a minute and a half into the 5-minute power play, so a lot of time for Sioux City to get more. They didn't. Sikora from Martino and Tate Pritchard on the power play at 4:03, and the Hawks got through the next 3.5 minutes without any further damage. Waterloo went to a power play shortly after that when Jackson Crowder ran over Calvin Vachon in the Blackhawk net, and it looked like the Blackhawks were going to be turned away, but with 1 second left on the power play, Waterloo got a game-tying goal in unorthodox fashion. Matthew Lansing was coming into the zone. He steered from the left wing toward the slot. Looked like he'd lost the puck as he was falling to the ice, but backhanded it toward the net with a follow-up that surprised Samuel Urban. It went past the Sioux City netminder inside the post at his left. And the power play goal for Matthew Lansing, a game-tying score with just 1 second left on that Blackhawk advantage. 5th goal of the season for Lansing, assisted by Nick Kasiva and Landon Nyes at 10:08. And then the Blackhawks and Musketeers exchanged unsuccessful power plays. Sioux City had the first, the Blackhawks had the second of those. The play was stopped with a save by Urban just as the second Blackhawk power play ended. Hawks won the face-off that followed, and Teddy Mulgrave fired a shot from the deep slot into the net past the stick side of Urban. Mulgrave's 5th of the season. He was assisted by Matthew Lansing, who won the face-off, and the Hawks up 2-1 as a result of the 5th goal of the year for Mulgrave. Both teams 1 for 2 on the power play. Waterloo had 8 shots in the first period to 6 for Sioux City. That's our first period scoring summary presented by Ted Solomon Hardware. For softer, purer, more refreshing water that just feels better and water that's easier on your home's appliances, choose Morton Water Softener Salts from Ted Solomon Hardware. Get a 40-pound bag for $6.79. Ted Solomon Hardware in Evansdale can help with your project. Stop in to see Ted and his staff. They're to help at 3550 Lafayette Road in Evansdale. Some preview information looking ahead to the World Junior A Challenge, which gets going tomorrow in Camrose, Alberta, involving players from both of these teams and Waterloo Black Hawks head coach Matt Smaby. We'll hear from Chris Peters about the World Junior A Challenge coming up after a break at this first intermission. 2-1 Hawks on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
High sticking, cross-checking, gouging. Don't get gouged when you come out to the game. Third-party ticket sites can add huge fees.
Welcome back at intermission.
Or seats. Skip the search engines. When you order Blackhawks tickets, go directly to tickets.waterlooblackhawks.com. Tickets.waterlooblackhawks.com. Get the best prices, the widest selection, and take gouging out of the game. Blackhawks hockey. Paint the town red.
The Courtyard by Marriott in Waterloo is the place to fuel your passion when you visit the Cedar Valley. Built in the historic John Deere factory, the Courtyard by Marriott is a short walk away from Young Arena, the John Deere Tractor and Engine Museum, and more. Visit the official hotel of the Waterloo Black Hawks. The Courtyard by Marriott at 250 Westfield Avenue in Waterloo's vibrant downtown offers a state-of-the-art hotel experience while providing more flexibility and choices for their guests. Courtyard by Marriott, fueled by passion.
Slumberland Furniture has been serving the Cedar Valley for more than 50 years. This year, Slumberland is partnering with the Waterloo Black Hawks and 1650 The Fan to advocate for good causes. A portion of your January 17th hockey ticket can help Magical Mix Kids. Go to tickets.waterlooblackhawks.com and use the code MAGIC. January 17th is a Slumberland Furniture Advocacy Night in coordination with the Blackhawks and 1650 The Fan.
Demanding jackets and Blackhawks take it outside with the Navy Federal Credit USHL Stadium Series.
Served your country and graduated with honors? I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you, Grandma. Joining the Army has many benefits. Celebrating your college degree without the burden of debt is just one of them.
The Army paid for it?
Yes, Uncle.
Visit the Waterloo Army Recruiting Station at 2060 Crossroads Boulevard or call 319-300-3178.
Whatever your project and wherever you are, Karen's Print Right can handle all your printing needs under one roof. This is Blackhawks coach Matt Smaybe. From design to delivery, Karen's Print Right does it all. Forms or business cards for your office, invitations or envelopes for special events, yard signs, rubber stamps, screen printing, and so much more. Find all the details at Karen'sPrintRight.com, where you can also request a quote right from home. Karen's Print Right on Falls Avenue in Waterloo, and open online around the clock at Karen'sPrintRight.com.
The Waterloo Black Hawks play here. 1650 The Fan.
Welcome back at intermission on this Sunday afternoon. If you were with us during yesterday's broadcast of Blackhawks hockey, I talked with Chris Peters of Flow Sports about the World Junior A Challenge, which begins on Monday. Blackhawks head coach Matt Smaybe, strength coach Spencer Papinga, and forward Brendan McMorrow are all at that event. There are a number of Blackhawks playing today who have been part of the World Junior A Challenge for a Canadian team. That includes Dylan Compton and Sam Huck. And I asked Chris when I talked with him earlier in the weekend about Canadian Junior A players eventually finding their way to the USHL after getting exposure in the World Junior A Challenge event.
Obviously, you look and you say, okay, well, who's on the staff? Obviously, Matt Smaybe is going to be there as the head coach, and Andy Brandt, another head coach in the league. And so you've got other coaches from other teams, and they're able to see these, like, it's their chance to see these players too, firsthand. And obviously they're among the biggest and most important decision makers in their organization. It kind of consolidates that player pool so that USHL GMs can watch those players in one place as well. And so that's, like everybody, colleges and everybody else. So, and I think that's a good thing. Basically now we're in this era where, you know, we've got this situation where the NCAA is opening things up and the CHL is going to be eligible. Any opportunity these players have to be seen, you know, they have to make decisions. They have more choice than they've ever had before in terms of where they can play. And so when you, like, if you're on one of those Canada teams and you see the way that the U.S. team plays, that may resonate with you in terms of you, because the U.S. team will play very similar to a lot of USHL teams. There's going to be a fast, competitive, physical team that has structure and will, you know, have a little bit kind of a different feel to it just because of the caliber that we've seen at the USHL level in these last few years. So it does resonate with those players, and it for some of them it might be their first exposure to the USHL in that way as well. So there's a lot of good things that come from that. I think, yes, if you're on the Junior A side right now, especially the Canadian, we're talking like the Canadian Junior A, I think there's a feeling of, you know, nervousness about what your player pool is going to look like, because now you can lose players to a lot of different leagues that you weren't going to lose them to before. And they may have to restructure how they do things and how they think about things and how the kinds of players that they're going after. But yeah, I mean, everything is kind of on the table at this point. But yes, I think this, you know, the short answer is this is a great opportunity for the USHL to showcase itself, you know, for these players, just simply by their players, you know, competing to the highest level they can.
Matt Smaybe is in his second season as head coach for this U.S. Junior Select team, his third year on staff. Of course, P.K. O'Handley was the head coach of this team for multiple years. Mark Carlson, a couple of times over. Anthony Noreen. Do you sense, as somebody who's watched this tournament for a long time, that experience really makes a big difference?
I think any international experience these coaches can get makes a huge difference, because it is a completely different animal than what they're used to. Because the decisions that have to be made in a short tournament versus a regular season, or versus, you know, if you're Matt Smaybe, you have multiple jobs as the coach of the Waterloo Black Hawks. You're developing players, number one. You're trying to win hockey games, and you're trying, you know, so you're also trying to, you know, get your team together, not just for now, but for the end of the season. You have to get a team to gel very quickly in this tournament. You have to get them to play the way that you want them to play very quickly. If they're not doing it, you have to adjust on the fly. That's probably one of the biggest things. I remember a few times when coaches that didn't have a ton of international experience or a ton of junior hockey experience didn't make their adjustments quickly enough, and the team never recovered. And so those are the types of things that have to happen in a tournament like this. And that's why, you know, a coach like Matt, who's been in this environment before, I'm sure he feels like there's some unfinished business from last year. and he wants to have a better showing in year 2. You know, I think he's one of the rising coaches in the industry, period. And so that allows him to kind of figure out, you know, okay, I've done it before. What did I learn from last year? How do I apply it to this year? And really, you look up and down this U.S. roster, and there's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of excitement.
Chris Peters of Flow Sports providing some insight ahead of the World Junior A Challenge, which begins on Monday. That's tomorrow. Blackhawks head coach Matt Smaby leading the American team. Brendan McMorrow will be on the ice, and strength coach Spencer Papinga also part of the U.S. delegation. We'll get just a little bit more from Chris at our next intermission, but stay with us now. After a break, we'll be back to check USHL scores. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling. Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park. Good squirrel, good squirrel. While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smartertogether. Member FDIC.
Shop, donate, or volunteer to help Habitat for Humanity at the Restore in Waterloo. Whether you purchase or donate furniture, building materials, or appliances, you make it possible for families in Northeast Iowa to achieve home ownership in decent, affordable housing. Visit the Restore at 4107 Hammond Avenue in Waterloo, or check them out at webuildhabitat.org/restore. Help Habitat do more. Shop the Restore in Waterloo.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.
With music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
On air and online. Listen to Blackhawks Hockey on 1650thefan.com. 1650 The Fan.
2-1, the Waterloo Black Hawks lead the Sioux City Musketeers going to period 2. The team's just returning to the ice right now. Just one other game in the USHL on this Sunday. It's in the third period in Western Michigan. The Muskegon Lumberjacks have a 1-0 lead on the Des Moines Buccaneers thanks to a goal by Tynan Lawrence. One game in the books involving a former Waterloo Blackhawk, Brandon Montour, with an assist in the Seattle Kraken's 7-5 win over the New York Rangers. And at last update, the Vancouver Canucks had both Brock Besser and Max Sasson on the ice against the Tampa Bay Lightning today. It was 1-0 in favor of Vancouver and still is at the end of one period. Women's college basketball, Iowa State over Central Michigan 82-56 at Hilton Coliseum. Coming up at Hilton Coliseum. That game will be over on Cruisin' KCFI with pregame starting in really just a matter of minutes. And in the NFL, the Minnesota Vikings 42-21 winners over the Atlanta Falcons. The Chicago Bears currently trailing the San Francisco 49ers 14-0. Later on, the Los Angeles Chargers visit the Kansas City Chiefs in a game that you'll hear here on the Fan. We're underway now in the second period as the Blackhawks win a draw and Teddy Mulgrave lifts the puck ahead. Urban stops it near the side of his net, then plays it behind the goal. And Mernix, who's been playing part of this game as a defenseman, fed it ahead. Broken up, Hawks get it back at center. Mulgrave plays it back to the left wing corner. Elaine Sumaki behind his net for Pritchard right of the goal. Tate Pritchard up the ice for a redirection into the offensive zone by Martino. Phelan got there first though for the Hawks, then to Mulgrave. He takes his time, sent it ahead for Huck, tipped down into the Sioux City zone. Elaine Sumaki there ahead of Lansing, who's got 2 points in the game. And the Musketeers get it up the ice. Pritchard to the red line, feeds it to Martino on left wing. Flipped it across the face of goal. It goes into the opposite corner. Gunderson fending off a check by the Hawks' Peddle. Tried to play it back to the line, and Townsend ties it up and squirts out to center. Lansing, end of his shift, trying to dump it in. It got caught up and slung the other way. Comes off the end boards, and a good play by the Hawks to get back and tie up the stick of the Musketeers' Justin Stoop, because he couldn't take a shot. Now Sikora has it right wing circle. Feeds the puck to Klepov, cutting in. Poke check, but Sikora wins it back just inside the Hawk blue line. Plays to the left wing boards, circling back out toward the line, trying to keep it away from Townsend. Left wing corner, Stupka moves to the side of the net. Stuff attempt saved by Vashon. Rebound Morgan Brady for Waterloo. And Brady forced to the corner, had his stick lifted. And the puck taken back, Sikora again. Side of the net, Klepov turning, shooting. It went off the leg and wide. Rimmed behind the net by Gavin Gary. Intercepted by Brady. Gives it to Peddle. Slides it ahead. Didn't find his intended target, Townsend. Again, the Hawks failed to get it out after having possession. Klepov, right wing corner for Sioux City. Moves to the dot. Put one in front. Redirected just wide by Gary. Gavin Gary has it again, though. Out to the line. Mentz, left point. Flips it towards the corner. Hopped over Klepov's stick. Brady fires it up the wall. Gary kept it in again. In front, Klepov. Step attempt saved by Vashon. Rebound. Sikora is stopped. Hawks clear it away from the front of the net, but still not out. Mentz gives it up, and here's Townsend making his way towards the neutral zone. Cut down play continues as the puck is slid down into the Sioux City zone. Hawks get a change just over 2 minutes into the second period. Now we're going to have a penalty against the Blackhawks behind the play. Off to the bench for an extra attacker goes Urban as the Musketeers hang on to it. And Mentz saucers it to Martino. 6-on-5 here in the delayed penalty situation. It comes to Pritchard at center. He turns. Goes back to his own zone for Gunderson. Flips the puck to Martino. Then a rink wide, missed his target, and it's picked up by Compton. Boy, that pretty good case to be made there that should be icing. I'm not sure what was called. Interference is the penalty against the Blackhawks, which will send Sioux City to their third power play of the game. Penalties against Grady Deering. 17:20 left to go in the second period. Sioux City with 3 shots on goal, a flurry in the early minutes of the second period. Hawks really unhappy that Teddy Townsend was upended getting out of the zone and it wasn't called. And then adding salt to the wound, the interference penalty against Deering. Face-off will be at the left of Calvin Vashon. Hawks did not score in the first minute of this quick start second period, so those 3 bananas were not available to the fans at Young Arena tonight. That's the giveaway if the Hawks score in the first minute of period 2. 3 bananas from Quick Start. Gunderson tossed out of a face-off, so it's Tate Pritchard instead. And this time the linesman Rosenberg flinched. And the Blackhawk bench is not happy that there was not a delay of game penalty against the Musketeers. Sioux City able to win the draw. It comes to Martino along the right wing boards. Then for Sikora to Gavin Gary. Poke check, but it came back to Sikora. Then Martino. He whipped on a feet towards the left wing circle. Got the puck back, though, for Gunderson. Side of the net, and Pritchard. And Tate Pritchard sweeps it back to Gunderson at the left dot. For Martino, quick shot. Bash on the save. Left a rebound. Hawks find it, and cleared over the stick of Martino out to center. Third power play for the Musketeers, who are 1 for 2. Martino turns back into his own zone, chips a pass rink wide to Sikora. Musketeers with 5 forwards on this first power play unit. Pritchard comes up the ice to his own blue line, leaves the puck there for Gunderson. And Gunderson hands off to Martino, carrying in for Sikora on right wing. Back to Martino in the right wing corner, escapes from Schultz, goes behind the Blackhawk goal. Sweeps it back to Sikora with 1:10 on the power play. Deep slot, and Pritchard backpedaling. Then to Martino, who mans that deep slot. Put one toward the net. It was tipped wide by Gary. Sikora turns with it. Right circle back for Gavin Gary. Then Sikora once more. Rink wide. Gunderson plays the carom off the left wing kick plate. Back across the ice. Didn't find Sikora. Tipped by the Hawks Montero. Musketeers get it back, though, keeping it in. Left wing circle, Gunderson for Martino. Fires one wide. Gary, poke check. Bouncing puck. Sikora gathers it into the deep slot for Martino. Looked like he was thinking about going for a change, but he's got the puck turning into the right wing circle. Side of the goal, and Gary. 35 seconds on the power play. Then it's Sikora. Nicholas Sikora, who has the Sioux City goal, dropping it back. Martino, right point. Up the wall, and Sikora again. 25 seconds on the advantage. Sikora for Gary. Fed it in front. Martino fires, missed the net, came off the end glass. Poked free. tough attempt by Pritchard. Good save by Vashon. 15 seconds on the power play. Gunderson got it off the boards to Martino. He gives it up, and here's Montero with a shorthanded breakaway from his own blue line. Montero moves in, stick handles, backhander, he scores! Here come the Hawks! J.J. Montero, his third goal in the last 4 games. A shorthanded breakaway score, going to the backhand and lifting it up and by. And here come the Blackhawks with a multi-goal lead. 3 unanswered after Sioux City got the first one of the day. J.J. Montero makes it a 3-1 Blackhawks edge at 4:36 of the second period. Long time on the ice for everybody who was out there. And even at the end of it, Montero able to capitalize with the shorthanded breakaway, going to his backhand and lifting the puck past Urban. With a bunch of tired Musketeers chasing him, the Hawks will be shorthanded for another 5 seconds, but now Waterloo leads the USHL once again with 5 shorthanded goals this season. Draw shot down into the Blackhawk zone, and that'll do it for the Musketeer power play as Compton fires it around the wall. Held in by Gould on the left wing side, but Compton gets it back for Waterloo after it goes behind the net. Banks it to Deering, fresh out of the box. He's able to get up left wing into the offensive zone, tipping it down into the corner. Keefe cut him off. Mason there to try to help out, worked over by Musket. Mason comes out of the corner with it, feeds the puck to the Blackhawks' Jete, then back for Bogus, moves in and shoots. It goes up high and hits the end glass. Karaming back to Compton, flicks one toward the corner for Deering. Getting control of it, working back toward the line, banks it off the end boards though. Bogus waits on the other side, puts a shot toward the net. That one is tipped to the end boards. Musket trying to clear it. He had Jete in his way. Musketeers get it back. Keith trying to flip it toward the line. Again, knocked down. Jete kept it in, and he was tied up, and we're going to have a penalty on the Musketeers for hooking. And the Blackhawks with a shorthanded goal to make it a 2-goal lead, now going to a power play. It'll be their third of the game. Crowder for the second time today, this time for hooking. 14:33 left to go in the second period. 3-1 Waterloo. Hawks 1 for 2 so far on the advantage today. Face-off will be down beside the Sioux City net, but first a timeout. 14:33 left in the second. Blackhawks lead 3-1. We're back in 30 seconds on the courtyard by Marriott. Blackhawks Network and 1650 The Fan.
Fit Pop Popcorn. It's a poppin' in Iowa. But many people don't have world-class popcorn growing in their neighborhood. Fit Pop is grown better right next door in Cedar Falls. Never fear, you can ship Fit Pop Popcorn anywhere in the United States. Think of those people who don't have Fit Pop Popcorn at their local grocery store. Send them a Midwestern care package from fit-pop.com. That's fit-pop.com. Fit Pop Popcorn. It's a poppin' in Iowa.
Round up a group of friends for a group discount. With 10 people or more, you'll receive substantial savings off the face value of your tickets. Book your group outing in advance with the Waterloo Blackhawks front office by calling 319-232-3444. 3-1 Blackhawks and Waterloo now to a power play, looking to extend the edge after a shorthanded goal by J.J. Montero. A correction, I said third goal in the last 4 for Montero, third in the last 5, but nonetheless, it's been a good stretch here for the first-year Blackhawk forward. Face-off coming to the left of Samuel Urban. And Montero out there as part of this power play unit with Deering and Hawkins, Townsend, and Compton. Hawks win the draw. Comes to Compton, then for Townsend, moves in, does a full turn in the left wing circle, back to the line for Compton, touch pass right back to Townsend's left wing boards. Then to the side of the net for Deering, rims it back out to the line for Compton. Dylan Compton steps up the wall under some pressure from Merniques, trying to lift the pass Deering's way. It's caught up in the corner, and Compton comes out of the scrum with it, back to Townsend just inside the line. Steps to the top of the circle. Townsend curls back out toward the left point. Slides a pass to Compton, avoids a check, leaves the puck for Townsend. Going toward the corner with it, side of the net, Deering fed it in front. Hawkins found it on his offhand, has to turn, gives it back to Compton, hooks a pass to Townsend. 120 on the power play, then for Montero, shooting, glove save by Urban, holding on with 13:50 left to go in the second. Hawks actually being outshot 11-10, but in the lead 3-1. And that's with 9 minutes of time spent shorthanded in the first 26 minutes of this game. Hawks also on their third power play, so lots of special teams on this Sunday afternoon. Two tired teams, each playing their third in 3 days. Sioux City picking up 3 of 4 possible points so far in the weekend. The Hawks with a couple of overtime losses, so 2 points. Musketeers win a draw. Keith gets the puck to Stupka, trying to clear. Compton gloves it down, keeping it in for Hawkins right on the line. Hawkins moves into the right circle, then to the corner, same side, and it's steering back to Compton, goes off of his skate now to the neutral zone. Hawks regroup. Townsend back up the ice on left wing, gets into the zone with just under a minute left on the power play. Checked along the boards, Keith with it, he flies it out to the neutral zone. Compton will corral the puck at his blue line and was going to leave it for Hawkins. He was surprised by that. Musketeers will start a change. Hawks also working towards a line change, but for now, Deering brings it into the offensive zone, stops in the right wing corner, drops it back out to Hawkins, then a rink wide for Townsend. Trying to find Compton, the pass is tipped by Merniques out to center. And the Hawks will change lines as Hawkins was unable to dump it in. Stolen by the Musketeers. Errant pass goes off of Jeffress's skate, though. 20 seconds on the power play. Compton turns up the ice, shakes a pass ahead. Montero gains the line on right wing, moves to the slot. He shoots, and Urban made the save. He didn't know where it was, but he got it caught up in his equipment and hangs on with 13 seconds remaining on the Blackhawk power play. 12:45 to go in the second. The only goal in the period, the shorthanded goal by J.J. Montero just before this Blackhawk power play got going. 12:45 left in the second. The Blackhawks got 4 points the last time they played 3 games in 3 days. There were wins that bookended a regulation loss in the middle, trying to do it in a little different fashion this weekend with a pair of overtime losses, and now trying to finish the weekend and the pre-Christmas schedule with a victory, and nearing the midpoint of regulation. Hawks up by 2, something that they could not do earlier in the weekend, have a multi-goal lead despite getting ahead at one point or another in both games against Dubuque. Musketeers able to clear the zone after the Hawks were unable to keep the draw in the offensive end. Sioux City now back to full strength as Phelan brought it back to the Musketeer line, played it behind the net. Mentz gives it to Merniques, banks it out to center for Klepov, then for Sikora into the Hawks zone on right wing. Sikora hands it back to Klepov, side of the net, and tried to drop it out into the slot. It's deflected, stolen by Phelan, banked back to Orlowski, who turns out to the neutral zone, going rink wide with a pass that's collected by Mulgrave off the right wing boards, banked to Kasiba, got across the Sioux City line, ran into the linesman, and the puck is nudged the other way by the Musketeers. Jete trying to get back to it, Klepov pursuing, and Klepov and Jete cancel each other out. So now it's Bradley Walker for Waterloo. Walker in front of the benches on left wing. Comes into the offensive zone. Pulls up in the corner, shielding the puck. Dropping it back for Huck. Went off of his skate, but picked up by Peddle instead. Out to the high slot. Walker shooting. Urban gloved it, but lost it. Recovered by the Sioux City Musketeers with Gould sending it from behind his net to Klepov. And Nikita Klepov back to the Blackhawk line. Between his skates, but Huck read it, stole it, and banked it off the kick plate back out to center. Joseph Mentz for the Musketeers. Circles back in his own zone. Headman pass tipped by Gary into the Blackhawk zone. Peddle has it back for Waterloo. And now a headman pass Brady for Huck to the offensive zone. Stupka trying to get between Huck and the puck. It gets away from both of them behind the Sioux City net. Walker knocks down Elaine Sumaki. Hawks steal and send one toward the net, and Walker scores! Bradley Walker had collided with Elaine Sumaki behind the goal. Hawks took the puck away meanwhile. Walker coming from behind the net, got a piece of the puck and redirected it by Urban. And here come the Hawks with 4 unanswered after Sioux City had scored first. It's Waterloo 4 and the Musketeers 1. Walker getting just a piece of that and tipping it up over the left pad of the Sioux City netminder, Samuel Urban, who's going to be brought to the bench, and the Musketeers will go with Bjorn Baronis the rest of the way. The 9-minute mark exactly of period 2, the time of the goal for Bradley Walker. And the Blackhawks have a 3-goal lead on Walker's third of the season. The puck comes to Elaine Sumaki off the draw, then for Merniques, now perhaps playing as a defenseman in the duration of this game, but lost it at the Blackhawk line. Here's Mason to the offensive zone. Mason banks it off the end boards for Townsend, left wing side, trying to hang on to it. He did get it back away from Pritchard. Moves in and lost the handle in the left wing circle. As Pritchard recovered, trying to clear it, Mason capped it in, the steal in the slot, and Mason lost it, trying to pull the puck to his forehand. It escapes to center. Townsend picks it back up and cuts right back in. Townsend left circle, centers, didn't get it to Mason as Elaine Sumaki blocked the pass. 10:20 left to go in the second period. Hawks 4, Musketeers 1. Keep in mind that Sioux City came back from a 4-0 deficit yesterday to beat the Omaha Lancers. Errant pass here, slides down into the Hawks zone, icing washed out. Landon Nyes for Waterloo. Outlets it to Lansing. He's got 2 points in the game. Slips a check, comes up right wing, gains the line. Lansing across the high slot. On his forehand, wrist shot. It was blocked, and Karams back to the line just out to center after a sprawling play by Kason Musket. Hawks regroup. Hawkins backhands it up the wall toward the right wing corner. Keith trying to keep it away from Montero. Help arrives from Merniques, and the puck slides behind the Sioux City net. There's Musket for Sioux City. Starting out to neutral territory, gets the red line and all the way into the Blackhawks zone, shaking it off the right wing boards, retrieving it himself in the corner, played it behind the Hawk net for Talon Blank, missed his target, it slides back down to the Sioux City ice. Hawkins hustling after it. Keith looks around to see what's coming. Hawkins gets their left wing corner, avoids a Keith check, got some help from Walker, drops it back for Bogus, left point, shooting, tip, hit the side of the net as Montero was going to the front of the goal. 4-1 Waterloo. Phelan, right wing boards, fed it ahead, taken away, and just cleared by Gould. Hawks get it back, and then they're offside, bringing it back into the zone with 9:09 left in the second period. Montero gets the gloves up now with the Musketeers blank, and I think we'll have some penalties from this. And maybe 4-on-4 hockey. It looks like Blank and Montero will both go have a seat. And this might be a blessing in disguise here for Sioux City with the shortage of defensemen. The 4-on-4 time will help them to minimize the time that they've got to have a full complement of players out there. We've got a timeout on the ice. Hawks 4, Musketeers 1. Let's break and come back in 30 seconds on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
At Green Acre Storage, we can take it. Think of us as storage therapists. We provide clean, safe, secure, climate-controlled storage units in a complete range of sizes. Feel free to unload on us in our enclosed and heated loading area. And ask about our Penske truck rentals and packing supplies. And feel better fast, knowing the storage pros at Green Acre specialize in not judging. We'll keep your stuff and your secrets. Green Acre. Because life is hard. Space.
Waterloo 4, Sioux City 1. This game really turning in a big way on the opening minutes. A 5-minute major penalty to Reed Morick. The Musketeers were on the power play less than 3 minutes into the action. They scored less than 4 minutes into the game, but they only got one during that 5-minute major. The Hawks worked through the 3.5 minutes after that Musketeer goal. Waterloo staying within one, then getting back even with a power play goal of their own. They were up 2-1 before the opening period ended. They've added 2 goals in the second. It's a 4-1 Blackhawks lead with just over 9 minutes left to play in period 2. And there's an extra penalty here against Talon Blank for the Musketeers. The Hawks are going to their 4th power play of the game, as Blank and J.J. Montero were mixing it up after the whistle, and they get Blank for an extra minor. So Waterloo to power play number 4, 1 for 3 so far on the afternoon. Blackhawk goals in the game from Matthew Lansing, Teddy Mulgrave, J.J. Montero, and Bradley Walker. The Lansing goal was on the power play. The Montero goal shorthanded. Musketeers win the draw, and the puck is cleared by Keefe, and it hit the scoreboard. And that's a break for Waterloo because the Hawks do lose 4 seconds on the power play, but essentially they get a do-over with an offensive zone faceoff. They draw at the left of Bjorn Baronis, who's on in relief of Samuel Urban. He was charged with all of the Blackhawks goals as he faced 13 shots. Musketeers win the draw, but they fail to clear as Keith hit Townsend. Puck comes to the slot. Schultz shooting. It was blocked. Schultz trying to get it back. Missed Townsend with a pass. The puck escapes out to the neutral zone. Schultz is replacing Montero on this power play unit for Waterloo. Hawkins turns up right wing, gains the line, leaves the puck along the boards for Schultz, tips it back for Compton under some pressure. Compton only just able to keep it away from Merniques. Hawks lose control of the puck though as it comes back into the zone. They had to get back on side, and now up the ice comes Keith. Poke checked into the Hawks end. Puck recovered by Dysert, turning and putting one into the slot, knocked down by Hawkins. And Waterloo will plot a breakout. 1:15 left on the power play. Townsend feeds it to Compton. Then for Deering crossing the line on right wing. Drop pass back to Compton. Then for Townsend in the deep slot. Townsend back to Dylan Compton. Wrist shot tipped wide. Townsend picks it up out of the left wing corner with a minute left on the power play. Rims it clockwise around the wall. It was out of Hawkins' reach and escapes down to the Hawk line. It's pursued and picked up by Jeffress, trying to center. Broken up by Compton. Now picked up by Mentz for the Musketeers. Knocked down by Lansing. Still flipped one toward the net. Bash on the save. And the rebound to Lansing, who scored the first Blackhawk goal in the game and assisted on another. And he has speed into the offensive zone here. Stops in the left wing corner. Runs out of real estate, but gets a pass away to Walker, who's got a goal in the game. Dropping it back out. Right point. It's Morgan Brady trying to work up the wall, but gets tangled up with Jeffress. Help arrives in the form of Lansing. He's got some room at the top of the right wing circle. Moves across the high slot with a pass for Bogus. 20 seconds on the power play. Right point Brady, then for Lansing below the dot. Lansing turns and goes across for Bogus again. He fields the pass and slides it below the icing line to Kasiba. Back for Bogus once more. Final seconds on the power play. Bottom of the right circle. Here's Lansing setting up a Brady one-timer right into the glove of Baronis. Brady got every bit of that. It was in the blink of an eye from his stick right into the glove of Bjorn Baronis. 1 second left on the penalty time to the Musketeers. Double minor here against Sioux City's Talon Blank, so it'll actually be Nikita Klepov coming out of the penalty box for Sioux City right after this faceoff. Merniques and Jete for the draw. Face off at the left of Baronis. Hawks trying to win the season series against Sioux City, leading the standings points 4-1. Hawks win the draw, and a chance for Jete didn't quite materialize. He was the face-off man for Waterloo, got the puck in, took an initial shot that was blocked in the follow-up, bounced over his stick blade. Musketeers clear it. Huck trying to bring it back ahead, lost the handle to Pritchard, and Merniques feeds Martino. Knocked off of his stick, it rolls to the end wall. Mulgrave got there ahead of Martino, played it clockwise for Huck left of the net. And Sam Huck out to the neutral zone, puck kicked ahead by Mason. Keith back to retrieve it. Challenged by Jete and escapes the corner left of his net. Feeding it back to Gunderson up the ice. 3-on-2. Gunderson to the Blackhawk line. Turns into the right wing corner and gives up the puck. It's taken back by Michael Phelan. Flicked off the glass and down into the Sioux City zone for what's going to be icing against Waterloo. 6:20 left to go in the second period. Sioux City scored first, but the Hawks had a 2-1 lead at the end of one period, and now 2 more goals in the second to make it a 4-1 lead. Face off back beside the Blackhawk net to the left of Calvin Bashon after the icing call. And this draw is controlled by the Musketeers. Klepov tries a backhander. Bashon the save. Puck comes down for Gavin Gary, left wing boards. Works back out toward the line, handing it off to Sikora. Avoids a check as he works toward the corner, but then reverses course out to the line. Nicholas Sikora to Stupka, cutting behind the Blackhawk goal, giving it to Klepov, fending off the check from Phelan. Phelan got around him, took the puck away, and cleared it. Elaine Sumaki goes rink wide for Gavin Gary. The veteran forward comes back into the Blackhawk zone, rims it clockwise behind the Waterloo net. Sikora receives it, right wing boards, but then gives the puck up to Mulgrave. Up the wall, Sikora kicked it and kept it in. Then to the right wing corner, it's Stupka to Klepov for Stupka. Hit the side of the net from a sharp angle. It's picked up and rimmed up the glass, not out. Mulgrave's attempt kept in by Sikora. Then behind the net, it's Klepov again. Centering one, Phelan knocked it down. It came across the face of goal anyway. And Stupka finds it in the right wing corner after it was on the opposite side of the crease. For Sikora, spun it in front. No one was there for the Musketeers. It slides all the way back to Sioux City ice. Just over 5 minutes left to play in this second period. Musketeers find Sikora back at the Blackhawk blue line, and he plays it behind the Waterloo net, but it's taken back there by the Hawks with Walker speeding back out to center on left wing. Has help coming. Walker to the offensive zone, lost it, and Blank able to knock it down for Sioux City. Back out to center on left wing. Blank to the Blackhawk zone, steers up the slot, had it swept off of his stick. Picked back up by Gould, trying to feed it ahead for Blank. Found Crowder instead on the right wing boards, bodied by Peddle. Now Nyes to it for Waterloo. Finds Townsend, tapping it to the line. Gould capped it in, recovered by Nyes. This time it does get out to center. Walker one more time on left wing. Drop pass for Townsend. Left wing boards. Plays it behind the net for Walker, spinning there. Drops it back, looking for Schultz. Pass was tipped. Schultz gets to keep it in. Back for Townsend behind the Sioux City net. Fed it into the slot. Crowder stole it. Nearly gave it right back to Walker, but Crowder recovers and gets back out to the neutral zone and to the Blackhawk line. He's poke checked, and Nyes takes it right away from him. Landon Nyes looks around, decides to skate it to the blue line, then banks it ahead for Montero on right wing. Montero moves in to Schultz, shooting, saved by Baronis. Rebound goes to the corner at Baronis' left. Montero wrapped up there by Gould, trying to fight his way through the check. Help arrives from Kasiba. Puck comes off the boards, and the Sioux City Musketeers take it and get it to center, but no further than the referee's crease before their momentum stalls. Mintz tries to go rink wide, coming on a change. He finds a target with Jeffress dumping it in. Compton fires it counterclockwise around the boards. Back to Montero, and the Hawks back out. Kasiba gets it from Montero, crossing the line for Lansing. Dragging, shooting, saved by Baronis. And he knocks it down, covering it up after Kasiba had cut across the face of goal as the shot was being delivered. 3:29 left in period 2. Remember, Partytown American Lager has a potential gift this holiday season. If you've got a Blackhawks fan and a beer lover on your Christmas list, think about Partytown American Lager as something that they might enjoy. Available at craft beer retailers throughout the Cedar Valley, as well as from Young Arena and also the single-speed tap rooms. 3:29 to go, second period. 4-1 Blackhawks, but the lead that the Omaha Lancers had at the end of 2 periods was bigger than this last night, and Sioux City came back for a 5-4 overtime win. Huck wins the draw. Kasiba fed it in front, and a backhanded try for Hawkins didn't materialize. He goes to the right wing corner to get the puck back. Couldn't center, though. The pass was tipped, and Hawks recover it at center. Brought back in by Brady, shoveling it into the left wing corner. Morgan Brady goes behind the Sioux City net, moving the puck the direction of Mason. Back for Brady, and then to Hawkins behind the Sioux City goal. Hawkins ran into some traffic, still able to drop one back. It's tipped, though, and escapes out to center. Morgan Brady for Teddy Mulgrave in front of the Sioux City bench. Sent it ahead, tipped, and it goes into the Blackhawk bench with 2:53 left in the second period. Hawks with 15 shots on goal. Sioux City with 14. And Waterloo with a 4-1 lead as both teams slog through a Sunday at Young Arena, but it's been better for the Blackhawks at this point. Face off just outside the Sioux City blue line. Schultz, Walker, and Jete playing together right now for Waterloo. Hawks win the draw, but Peddle's pass stolen by Martino. Giacomo Martino comes to the Hawk line, fed it into the corner. Phelan got there for Waterloo to reverse it up the boards, but Elaine Sumaki capped it in. Going across the width of the ice, banks off the boards, didn't find Martino. Gunderson handles it instead behind the net, centers it. Intercepted by the Hawks, and they can't get it out. Gunderson got it back, finding Martino, right wing circle, drops it back. Pritchard shooting, Vash on the save. Rebound free in the slot. We're going to have a penalty called against the Blackhawks, and Sioux City to a power play. A hooking call, and Sioux City to power play number 4 on the day. The penalties against Brock Schultz. It's his second trip to the penalty box. 2:23 left in the second period. The Blackhawks scored a shorthanded goal the last time the Musketeers had a power play, but before that, they were pinned in the defensive zone for really about 1 minute and 40 seconds. J.J. Montero had that shorthanded goal. He's out there with Sam Huck, Teddy Mulgrave, and Morgan Brady. Gunderson wins the face-off back to Martino. Sausage it to Sikora, right wing boards, then into the corner for Gavin Gary. It was behind him, knocked away for a moment by Brady. Gary gets it back for Sikora. Then Martino deep slot. Now Sikora top of the right wing circle. To the deep slot again, Martino. Left wing side. This time it's Gunderson to the side of the net, and it was Pritchard back to the slot and taken away by the Blackhawks. Montero giving it to Huck. They're up the ice, maybe 2-on-1. Huck to the offensive zone, centers, and a chance for Montero. This time it came up on edge and he couldn't get the shot away. Back at center, Pritchard getting back to the Hawk line, but the rush stalls as Huck with a good back check breaks down the Musketeer rush. Hawks put on some pressure. Phelan knocking a puck free, and Sioux City recovers it, but wasting some time in the neutral zone with the pressure by Waterloo. Pritchard decides to go all the way back to his own zone. Hawks get at least a partial line change. Martino up the ice for Gunderson on right wing. Got it just across the line for Sikora. Rink wide, missed his intended target, Gary. Phelan steals and clears. Under a minute to go on the Sioux City power play. 4-1 Blackhawks, just over a minute to play in the second period. Musketeers on their fourth power play of the game. Alain Sumaki, fresh off of a change, goes to pick up the puck behind his goal. And Anthony Alain Sumaki, native of Quebec, leaves it for Stupka. He avoids Lansing. Comes to the Black Hawk line, feeds it into the right wing circle for Dallas View, then back to Stupka turning. Stupka above the right wing circle, up the wall. Then Klepoff back to View. Klepoff again outside the right circle, below the icing line for Berniques. And then drop back for Alain Sumaki, didn't have a shooting lane. He's got it one more time just inside the line for View. Dallas View, then to Klepoff, outside edge of the right circle. Back to View. And Klepoff again. Final seconds on the power play. A feed across the slot. Stupka swung and missed. Alain Sumaki has it back. Drops it out. High slot View. Wrist shot. Vachon knocked it down. Nice picks up the puck behind his net. Bats it ahead. And the Hawks have a breakaway opportunity if they can connect. It does bounce into the Sioux City zone, but it was tipped. Schultz had to wait for it. Now waiting for the trailer. Nyes moves in and shoots. And it was blocked loose. Puck picked back up. A turning try by Lansing missed the net. Mason with final seconds remaining in period 2 goes to the corner. Bodied there by Stupka. Not going to be able to get it out for an opportunity here as the Musketeers put it up the wall and out to center. The horn sounds and the Hawks build what was a 1-goal lead into a 3-goal lead at the end of 2 periods. But keep in mind that Sioux City came back from a bigger deficit yesterday. And so we've still got 20 minutes left and a lot to settle on this Sunday afternoon. Blackhawks 4, Musketeers 1. We'll take a timeout and come back at this second intermission after a break on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
Right now, someone is
30 added to the first 2.
Thank you.
In Cadillac Extreme Bowling Center. Sure, there's fun for bowlers, but there's also gamers, party animals, and anyone who loves good food. If you haven't been to Maple Lanes and Cadillac XTC lately, you don't know how much fun you're missing. Then there's Kingpin Social, open with a full menu for lunch and dinner every day. Maple Lanes, Waterloo.com, 2608 University Avenue. CadillacXTC.com, 650 LaPorte Road. Have some fun tonight.
At our store, we have something for all seasons. This is Ted from Ted's Home and Hardware in Evansville. This is hockey season, and you know we're proud supporters of the Blackhawks. Be part of the Blackhawks family and stop into our family-owned and operated store for value and the products you need for your home and project.
Find DeWalt power and hand tools to help take on those tough jobs you need to get done. For over 90 years, DeWalt tools guaranteed tough.
Save more with Viridian Credit Union. For top shelf savings with lower fees and better rates on accounts, loans, and credit cards. At Viridian, you'll earn more on savings and checking accounts and pay less when you buy or refinance a home or vehicle. That's how our members come out millions of dollars ahead each year, giving you more. That's the value of Viridian. Go to viridiancu.org to see how you can save. Equal housing opportunity insured by NCUS.
Bucky's Pet Solution, solving problems, that's what we do. Bucky's Pet Solution, 239-2772.
It's that time of year. Rodents that are outdoors now will want to come in from the cold. They can bring along diseases no one wants in their home. Stop those rodents from getting comfortable with help from Bugsy's Pest Solutions in Waterloo. 239-2772 or online at BugsyPestSolutions.com. picking, cross-checking, gouging. Don't get gouged when you come out to the game. Third-party ticket sites can add huge fees that double or triple the cost of your seats. Skip the search engine. When you order Blackhawks tickets, go directly to tickets.waterlooblackhawks.com. Tickets.waterlooblackhawks.com. Get the best prices, the widest selection, and take gouging out of the game. Blackhawks hockey. Paint the town red.
When it's hockey time in Party Town, the Blackhawks are on. 1650 The Fan.
Well, the Waterloo Black Hawks with 2 during period number 2, and the biggest lead that the Hawks have had in quite a while. It's Waterloo 4, Sioux City 1. It's the first time the Black Hawks have scored 4 goals in a game since they fell to the Tri-City Storm in a shootout loss 5-4 on November the 15th. And Waterloo getting ahead in the first and adding to the lead in the second. Time to tell you how we've gotten to this point with our scoring summary at the second intermission presented by Ted's Home and Hardware. Again, keep in mind that this game could look very different right now. Sioux City went to a power play about 2.5 minutes in, and it was not your garden variety power play either, with a 5-minute major penalty against Reed Morick. The Blackhawk captain shown into the dressing room, and Waterloo had to figure out a way to work through that. They could not come through the 5 minutes unscathed as Sioux City capitalized at 4:03 with a goal from Nicholas Sikora, putting it in from the right wing circle on a setup by Giacomo Martino. Also an assist on that goal to Tate Richard. But the Blackhawks made it through the 3.5 minutes or so of time that remained and did not get any further behind. And from there, it's been all Blackhawks, beginning with a power play goal at 10:08 of the first period. A little bit of luck there for Waterloo with just 1 second left on the power play, and Matthew Lansing losing his balance as he came into the zone and into the slot. He fell down. The puck looked like it was about to get away, but at the last moment, he desperately swung a backhanded attempt toward the net, and it found its way past the left skate of Samuel Urban. Lansing's 5th of the season was assisted by Nicholas Kasiba, as well as an assist credited to Landon Nye. So it was 1-1 on that power play score at 10:08, and then the Blackhawks made it 2-1 at 18:18 of the first period. A face-off win by Lansing in the Sioux City zone. He got the puck back to the line. Teddy Mulgrave triggering a shot from just inside the line that went past the stick side of Urban, and the 5th goal of the season for Mulgrave, making it a 2-0 Blackhawk lead at 18:18. Sioux City had an opportunity to tie the game early in the second period, and they had a long sequence of time that they spent in the Blackhawk zone with possession. Didn't generate a lot of chances, and eventually, with a bunch of tired guys out there on both sides, J.J. Montero forced a turnover, and when he saw open ice in front of him, he certainly found a second win, accelerating up the rink, and one-on-one against the netminder Samuel Urban. Montero pulled the puck to his backhand and lifted it in. His 5th goal of the season, the 5th shorthanded goal of the year for the Blackhawks, unassisted at 4:36. So instead of Sioux City getting an equalizer during their power play, the Blackhawks went further ahead, making it 3-1. And then at the 9-minute mark of the second period, the Hawks made it 4-1 when Morgan Brady took away a clearing attempt on the right wing boards, firing a shot toward the net, and coming from behind the goal, Bradley Walker there to tip the puck in past the left pad of Samuel Urban. He was brought to the bench after that goal. Walker's 3rd of the season from Brady, making it a 4-0 Blackhawk lead, where we stand now. The dozen shots that Urban saw, I think that 13 shots that Urban faced led to 4 Blackhawk goals, and Bjorn Baronis in for the remaining Sioux City time in net over the last 11 minutes of period number 2. And Baronis stopping the couple of chances the Blackhawks had in that time. Waterloo 1 for 4 on the power play. Sioux City also 1 for 4. Musketeers actually outshot the Hawks 10-7 in the second period by virtue of their power play time. They've taking an edge in shots for the game, 16-15, but the Hawks leading where it counts, 4-1 after 2 periods at Young Arena. The scoring summary presented by Ted's Home and Hardware. Move snow like a pro with Yo-Ho shovels. They're the distinctive yellow snow shovels that have been built to last in Monticello, Iowa since 1929. Find Yo-Ho shovels at Ted's Home and Hardware. Ted's in Evansdale, where you can find help with your project. Stop in to see Ted and the staff. They're there to help at 3550 Lafayette Road. 4-1 Waterloo will break and come back with more at the second intermission after this on the Courtyard by Marriott Blackhawks Network and 1650 The Fan.
The Courtyard by Marriott in Waterloo is the place to fuel your passion when you visit the Cedar Valley. Built in a historic John Deere factory, the Courtyard by Marriott is a short walk away from Young Arena, the John Deere Tractor and Engine Museum, and more. Visit the official hotel of the Waterloo Black Hawks. The Courtyard by Marriott at 250 Westfield Avenue in Waterloo's vibrant downtown offers a state-of-the-art hotel experience while providing more flexibility and choices for their guests. Courtyard by Marriott, fueled by passion.
Slumberland Furniture has been serving the Cedar Valley for more than 50 years. This year, Slumberland is partnering with the Waterloo Black Hawks and 1650 The Fan to advocate for good causes. A portion of your January 17th hockey ticket can help Magical Mix Kids. Go to tickets.waterlooblackhawks.com and use the code MAGIC. January 17th is a Slumberland Furniture Advocacy Night in coordination with the Blackhawks and 1650 The Fan.
Imani, please join me in congratulating the new Black.
Served your country and graduated with honors? I'm proud of you.
Aw, thank you, Grandma. Joining the Army has
Welcome
many
back at
benefits.
intermission on this
Children
Sunday.
without the burden of
At
debt
this
is just
second,
wonderful.
The Army paid for it?
Yes, Unc.
Visit the Waterloo Army Recruiting Station at 2060 Crossroads Boulevard or call 319-300-3178.
Whatever your project and wherever you are, Karen's Print Right can handle all your printing needs under one roof. This is Blackhawks coach Matt Smee. From design to delivery, Karen's Print Right does it all. Forms or business cards for your office, invitations or envelopes for special events, yard signs, rubber stamps, screen printing, and so much more. Find all the details at karensprintwright.com, where you can also request a quote right from home. Karen's Print Right on Falls Avenue in Waterloo, and open online around the clock at karensprintwright.com.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at US Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Oh, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel. Good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Your home for the Waterloo Blackhawks, 1650 The Fan.
At this second intermission, let's go back to my interview with Chris Peters that I recorded a little earlier this weekend. We've heard some segments of that conversation about the World Junior A Challenge, which begins in Camrose, Alberta on Monday. It's a 4-team event with the U.S. taking on opponents from Canada. In fact, 2 Canadian teams, plus a team from Sweden. And I asked Chris what it would take for the U.S. to bring back a medal this year in this short tournament against high-quality competition.
Yeah, I think for one, it's obviously a focus on themselves and gelling quickly. The condensed schedule, you want to put yourself in the best position to have the highest seed. You want to finish in first place. You want to play the 4th place team in the semifinals if you can. It's my opinion that, in terms of pure talent, Sweden is going to be a tough matchup for whoever they play, but they are going to be the youngest team in the tournament, which is a disadvantage, even as you're really, really, really talented. But, the thing about this U.S. team is that they have so many players that are playing real well right now, and you try to ride that momentum. You try to get those players to play at the top level. You also have a number of guys that have international experience previously, including Brendan McMorrow, who Waterloo Blackhawks fans will be very familiar with. And having guys like him, having Austin Baker, guys that have played in the World Under-18 Championship, you kind of try to follow their lead. Goaltending is a huge factor every time. But, I'm also really excited to see guys like the young players they brought. Jack Hextall, you think a few years back that they had some younger players that really excelled in the tournament and pushed it forward. This used to be a tournament where you wouldn't see some of those 16-year-olds in the league, but they've been more aggressive. Max Swanson was one of their best players a couple of years back and was one of the first underagers to play in this tournament. Now that's getting more guys, but got a lot of draft prospects, drafted guys, Luke Osborne, Will Zellers, Lucas Van Vliet, another guy that has international experience. You lean on those players, let them do what they do, and I think, things will kind of come into play. I think the U.S. team is the best team in the tournament. I think they have the best chance to win it. Sweden is going to give them some trouble. You never know exactly what you're going to get out of the Canadian team. Sometimes they are absolute wagons you didn't see coming. So it's just be ready for anything. And if you're ready for anything and you're making adjustments and I think they're going to be a well-coached team. I think they're going to be a talented team, a team that can score a lot of goals. I think that they're in a really good position here to win this tournament, and just by making sure that they show up and playing at their top level. I think there's a lot to like about this team and a lot to be excited about.
Chris Peters writes about hockey at many, many levels, including the USHL, with us to get some insights on the World Junior A Challenge, which starts on Monday. Chris, thanks so much.
Hey, Tim, my pleasure. Anytime, man. It's always great to be with you.
This is Blackhawks Hockey on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650, The Fan.
Shop, donate, or volunteer to help Habitat for Humanity at the Restore in Waterloo. Whether you purchase or donate furniture, building materials, or appliances, you make it possible for families in Northeast Iowa to achieve home ownership in decent, affordable housing. Visit the Restore at 4107 Hammond Avenue in Waterloo, or check them out at webuildhabitat.org/restore. Help Habitat do more. Shop the Restore in Waterloo.
Domino's Mix and Match menu has items for every occasion. Flaked on your friend's open mic night? Flaky bread twists and molten lava cake should do the trick. Soccer team duty? Medium two-topping pizzas and stuffed cheesy bread are your best defense. Is it your dog's half birthday? Celebrate his biggish day with savory sandwiches and tender specialty chicken. Mix and match 2 or more items for $6.99 each at Domino's. Ask for this offer 2 item minimum prices for preparation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Going to main spread will cost 10 pan pizza will cost extra. Local stores with delivery fees and can charge extra for some menu items.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Pit Pop Popcorn. It's a poppin' in Iowa. But many people don't have world-class popcorn growing in their neighborhood. Pit Pop is grown better right next door in Cedar Falls. Never fear, you can ship Pit Pop Popcorn anywhere in the United States. Think of those people who don't have Pit Pop Popcorn at their local grocery store. Send them a Midwestern care package from pit-pop.com. That's pit-pop.com. Pit Pop Popcorn. It's a poppin' in Iowa.
The Waterloo Black Hawks play here. 1650 The Fan.
Waterloo 4, Sioux City 1. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on 1650 The Fan, KCNZ Cedar Falls, Waterloo, broadcasting on K272GA at FM 102.3, a co-op media station. 2 in the first, 2 in the second for the Blackhawks. Just 1 for Sioux City, that came early. And Waterloo trying to close it out with 20 more minutes before the USHL holiday break. Well, it's going to break earlier than most of the rest of the league. Almost everybody else will be playing games next weekend. 1 game in the USHL this afternoon. It is final. The Muskegon Lumberjacks go to first place in the USHL Eastern Conference, shutting out the Des Moines Buccaneers 3-0. Muskegon a big weekend after wins against Youngstown earlier. And they top a Des Moines team that had a pretty good week after a pair of wins against Green Bay during the USHL American Cup in Rochester, New York. Other games of interest, Brandon Montour had an assist in the Seattle Kraken's 7-5 win over the New York Rangers. Brock Besser, Max Sasson, and the Vancouver Canucks trailed the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1. College basketball on the women's side, Iowa State a winner, 82-56 over Central Michigan. The Cyclone men play Jackson State at Hilton Coliseum. That game begins after 5 o'clock over on Cruisin' KCFI on this Sunday afternoon. NFL football going on right now. The Seattle Seahawks lead the Arizona Cardinals 24-10. It's the LA Rams 24, the Buffalo Bills 14. The San Francisco 49ers all over the Chicago Bears 24-0. Earlier, the Minnesota Vikings beat the Atlanta Falcons 42-21. Other winners, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, and Miami. And the late game between the LA Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. You can hear that game later on this evening here on The Fan. Hawks win a face-off, and Mulgrave dumps it into the left wing corner. Elaine Sumaki trying to keep it away from Huck. He did. And Sioux City comes back to center. Pritchard handing it off to the Musketeers. Gunderson upended coming through the center circle. Took a bad step. Musketeers still able to dump it in. And Mulgrave turns and trying to roll it back to Huck, but Pritchard got in the way. Bouncing puck is poked toward the line and does get out to center. Elaine Sumaki goes back to his own zone. Huck chases him and used the referee to get him tied up, and now Huck does take the puck away, trying to drop it back to the slot, but just didn't have enough room to do it in the corner on the left wing. And Elaine Sumaki gets the puck back out to center, driving it up the left wing boards. It rides the glass and comes out left of Vashon. Peddle ahead for Lansing, tips it down deep into the Sioux City zone. Pursued behind the net, but Townsend couldn't get there. Kasiba also unable to locate the handle for Waterloo. Back the other way comes Klepov to the Blackhawks zone, crisscrossing, leaving the puck for Sikora. Shooting from the right circle, it missed the net. Karam's off the glass back toward the line, held in by the Musketeers. Sikora dropping it back. It's tipped and goes out through the neutral zone. Just over a minute into the third period. 4-1 Waterloo. Joseph Mentz, one of 4 Sioux City defensemen who's available right now. They started the game with 5. They dump it in. Gavin Gary chasing it down. His centering feed knocked down by Kasiba, who's hit and puck stolen. Now Stupka shot with Vashon making a glove save. The puck popped away and play is stopped as that was an inadvertent whistle there, I think. The puck getting away from Vashon and the whistle sounding from the referee coming out of the opposite corner. Kevin McManus may not have seen that one had gotten away with some traffic coming towards Vashon. 18:28 left to go in regulation. 4-1 Waterloo. Sioux City now with 17 shots to the Hawks 15. But Waterloo ahead by 3. Sioux City not a team typically that generates a tremendous number of shots on goal, but they have had a pretty good shooting percentage this year. So they still are among the top scoring teams, even though they don't generate huge quantities of chances. Hawks win a draw. Walker out to center in front of the Blackhawk bench. Got to the red line for a dump in. Walker with his 3rd goal of the season earlier in this game. Musketeers get it back and get it right back out. As it's brought to the Hawk zone by Dysert, feeding it to the right wing circle view. Spins it in front, tipped. Saved by Vashon after it hit a Blackhawk stick and went on goal. Compton turns deep in his own zone for Waterloo. Feeds a pass to Montero on right wing. Montero into the offensive zone, trying to back down Keith. Puck was swept away from him. Musketeers get control. View then. Missed Dysert with a pass. He finds the Karam and dumps it in though. Mulgrave back to it for Waterloo. To Walker right of the net. Banked it off the boards out to center. No icing here as that one didn't have enough on it. Elaine Sumaki. Then for Gould. Shane Gould. Back up the ice and into the Blackhawk zone. All the way to the left wing circle. Curls towards the boards with it. And now tries to spike it to the corner. Blank found it. Centered it. Missed Musket. Spun toward the net by Crowder but wide. Elaine Sumaki has it back. Changing spots going toward the corner. Trying to reverse course. Knocked down. Still able to sweep it below the icing line where Mulgrave steals for Waterloo. Looking for Hawkins. He got a piece of it, deflecting it out to center. Mason pokes it down further. Rolling puck. Elaine Sumaki there first. He and Mason bang shoulders. Jete comes to steal it. Then for Hawkins. And the Blackhawks leading goal scorer couldn't get a clean shot away. Crowder, the Blackhawk line, gives the puck up there to Phelan. Slings it back up the ice to Hawkins. Gaining the line. Hawkins wraps it clockwise around the boards. Gunderson got it off the wall, went toward the slot. Loose puck, Kasiba with it. Stuff attempt and a save made by Baronis, who stopped all 3 shots that he's faced since coming onto the game. Now Jete steal on a failed clear. Takes a shot. Baronis steers it to the end boards. And the Musketeers do clear it this time. Intercepted by Peddle. Back for Jete. Flies one into the left wing corner before going for a change. Kasiba got there for Waterloo, but knocked off the puck by Mentz. Gunderson goes across the width of the ice to Martino. Then to the Blackhawks zone on left wing. Martino curling, trying to feed one ahead. Intercepted by Morgan Brady at the center. 2-on-2, but has help coming. 4-on-2. Brady to the line for a shot. Missed the net. Got it back. He scores! Morgan Brady had his initial shot spring right back to him off the end boards. He followed up from just outside the crease and squeezed one inside the post at Varonis' left. And here come the Hawks with 5 unanswered. It's 5-1 Waterloo at 3:52 of the third period. So Morgan Brady getting in on the action for a multi-point game after an assist on the last Blackhawk goal. Waterloo has a couple from defensemen in this game. Brady with his first of the season. And Waterloo up 5-1. The Blackhawks got to 5 in each of the 2 earlier games against the Sioux City Musketeers. Those both were close at the end. Still a lot of time left, only 4 minutes into period number 3. Huck back to the offensive zone one more time. Goes behind the Sioux City net, comes out right circle, drops it back. Brady up the wall, missed Huck, but Kasiba fields it behind the net. Then it hopped away from him too. Pritchard in the corner right of his net, fed it back behind the goal for Merniques. Able to clear it. And Martino brought it back into the zone. Got some help from Pritchard. And then for Keith, coming up the ice to the Blackhawk line. Steers to the top of the right circle, tries a wrist shot, knocked out of the glove of Vasha, and then he makes a second save on Martino, lunging out with his goal stick, flashing it to his right to deny the chance. Hawks got it back to center, but Stupka turns back in on left wing. Stupka leaves the puck for Gunderson. Then for Stupka again, his shot is blocked. Martino has it back, slides it to the right wing circle. Gunderson across the slot, passes deflected and cleared by Lansing. Almost 5 minutes into the third period, 5-1 Waterloo. As it's taken away at the Blackhawk line on an errant pass, Deering got it back out to center, but we've got a whistle and a penalty on the Musketeers as Deering was hit along the boards, and it's going to be a cross-checking penalty that sends the Hawks to power play number 5. Justin Stupka for cross-checking. 5-1 Waterloo, just over 5 minutes into the third period. Let's take a 30-second timeout and come back with more. You're listening to 1650 The Fan, KCNZ, Cedar Falls, Waterloo, broadcasting on K272GA at FM 102.3, a Koloff media station.
At Green Acres Storage, we can take it. Think of us as storage therapists. We provide clean, safe, secure, climate-controlled storage units in a complete range of sizes. Feel free to unload on us in your enclosed and heated loading area. And ask about our Penske truck rentals and packing supplies. Feel better fast, knowing the storage pros at Green Acres specialize in non-judging. They'll keep your stuff and your secrets. Because life is hard. Storage.
Blackhawks 5, Musketeers 1. Waterloo to power play number 5 in just a moment. Visit Partytown Outfitters on the concourse at Young Arena for your holiday needs. Filled with all sorts of Blackhawks gear, Partytown Outfitters can help you find the perfect gift for a Blackhawks fan. For a preview, go to WaterlooBlackhawks.com and click on Shop. Left side faceoff, left of Bjorn Baronis. Morgan Brady putting one past Baronis a little earlier in the period. First one that the Hawks have gotten past the Sioux City reserve netminder. Musketeers get the puck and get it out. Compton goes back to his own zone to retrieve it. Dylan Compton turning up the ice for Waterloo. Gets back to the line, chips a pass to Deering, shooting! And Baronis fought it off, getting enough to keep it outside the post at his left. Hawks recover. Montero, a goal already in the game, has it outside the left wing circle now. Back to Townsend at the line. Then Compton, deep slot. Compton put it in front. He was looking for a Deering tip. It got all the way to the end boards, though, after cutting across the top of the crease. Now Montero trying to feed Deering, taken away by Keefe. Make that Merniques, rather. He gives it to Keefe. And then Ferment's trying to clear, who did. Out to the neutral zone. Merniques, though, is caught up just outside of his own blue line, has to play it back into his own zone. And Keefe now will flick it across the width of the ice. At the Hawk line, Compton trying to keep it away from Dysert, but Merniques steps to find it, plays it back to his own zone. A minute left on the Blackhawk power play. Now it's fed ahead to the Blackhawk line, brought in by Mentz on right wing. He's just trying to waste some time, though, along the boards on the right wing side. Hawks were changing. They get the puck back. Landon Knives, who had a power play assist in the first period, circles the wagons behind his net and now starts away. Nyes decides to accelerate as far as the red line, leaves the puck for Nicholas Kasiba. He's able to slide it ahead for Lansing. And Matthew Lansing moves to the left wing corner, back to Kasiba. Now Lansing one more time, end boards, jostled there. Kasiba gets it back. Out to the left point, Landon Nyes. Nyes a wrist shot, saved by Baronis. Rebound Kasiba, left wing corner. Then for Lansing behind the net, it missed him. Goes to the opposite corner, Jete after it. Trying to get it back to Lansing, knifed away. Jeffress brings it out to center. Final seconds on the power play. Jeffress taps it down to the Blackhawks zone. Vachon trying to shovel it aside. Jeffress nearly nudged it between his pads. Goes behind the Hawk net. Waterloo gets control, but the power play time all but over for practical purposes. Jete slides it out to center. Finds Schultz into the offensive zone. Schultz to the right wing circle as the Musketeers come back to full strength. Got it to Nyes for a backhander. Knocked down by Baronis. It went behind the net. And Nyes fending off a check, trying to drop it back, but Klepov stole it. Nikita Klepov on right wing to the Blackhawks end. Stops at the outside edge of the circle. Forced to the corner by Mulgrave. Trying to work it back toward the line, and Mulgrave stopped him. Now Klepov turns back toward the corner for Stupka and boards, trying to center. Vachon broke up the feed with his goal stick. Hawks take it, trying to clear, but it goes up into the protective netting with 12:29 left to go in the third period. It was 1-0 Sioux City, but now 5-1 Waterloo. And the Hawks with 5 different goal scorers, a lot of variety. Matthew Lansing, Teddy Mulgrave, J.J. Montero, Bradley Walker, and most recently, Morgan Brady. Hawks getting a big outburst right before the holiday break, and hopefully a lift going into what is a particularly long break. But still work to do this afternoon. Hawks win a draw. It's flipped out to the neutral zone by Mulgrave. Taken away by Mentz. Banked back toward the Hawk line. Fail it. There to steal it back for Waterloo. Then to Walker. Banks it ahead for Mason, who tapped it into Sioux City ice with the puck on its way by. Musketeers take it, trying to feed it ahead. Broken up by Walker so that Phelan can collect it. And for Jete. Challenged by Merniques. The puck poked away. Rolls toward the slot. Martino finding it. Setting up a shot by Pritchard. Good save by Vachon, sliding to his left. Comes back to Mentz in the deep slot. Couldn't quite hold it in on the line, and it's an offside play as he did pull it back into the zone after it escaped for a moment. Calvin Vachon, in his prior game against the Musketeers, only faced 19 shots. He allowed 4 goals in that game, got the win. He's already faced 19 shots in this one. He stopped 18 of them and played particularly well in the early stages. And not stopping now with the Hawks ahead by a bunch, but Vachon still making some big saves. Hawks win a face-off. Brady on the boards left of his net, lifts it off the glass, didn't get out, but Peddle finds it, taps it ahead to Kasiba in front of the Hawk bench, and then it's jousted into the bench with 11:41 to go in the third period. Round up a group of friends for a group discount. With 10 people or more, you'll receive substantial savings off the face value of your tickets. Book your group outing in advance with the Waterloo Black Hawks front office by calling 319-232-3444. Deering won the draw to the boards in front of the Blackhawk bench. Brady able to send it from the red line then deep into the Sioux City zone. Elaine Sumaki keeps it moving counterclockwise, and the Musketeers get it back out with Jeffress, who didn't play in the 2 games between the teams back in November. Got it to View, then poked away from him, and Hawkins turns up the ice, maybe 3-on-2. Hawkins on right wing, leaves the puck for Deering, moves in trying to center one. He didn't find his intended target, but Peddle gets there to keep the puck in the zone, ended up giving it away to Elaine Sumaki. And back to neutral ice comes Jeffress for View on left wing. Back for Jeffress, broken up again, it lays loose. This time the Musketeers able to get back to it and rim it behind the Hawk net, but only Morgan Brady there. Brady left of the net for Hawkins. Comes out to the neutral zone. Got to the red line to chip it deep. Under 11 to go in the third period. Here's a giveaway. Lansing the steal. Lansing moves toward the high slot. Plays it behind his back. A shot for Nyes. Saved by Baronis. And the long rebound collected by Blank. Talon Blank on left wing. Got back to the Hawk line, but Mason forced him to dump it into the corner. And now a bouncing puck is collected by Ty Mason. Given to Huck. Sam Huck scored last night against Dubuque. Dumps it up the left wing glass. It bounces around behind the net. Mason fields it right wing boards, and a lot of traffic there. Blank took it away. And then gives the puck to Musket. Kaysen Musket Steps back to the Blackhawks zone. Shakes one off the right wing boards. He and Compton bang shoulders. Muskin got it behind the net to Blank. Out to Gould, left point. Gould avoids a shot blocker. Moves in for a wrister. He scores! Low to the glove side past Calvin Vachon, and almost halfway through the period, Sioux City back to within 3. And this is the story from last night in Omaha. This was about the time where Sioux City began their big rally. Shane Gould with a goal, avoiding Townsend near the blue line, stepping between the hash marks, finding room there to get up the ice and trigger a shot, scoring at 9:55 to make it a 3-goal Blackhawk lead. And again, this was the point where Sioux City got a goal to cut into Omaha's lead and make it a 3-goal differential. We'll see when or if the Musketeers elect to perhaps pull Bjorn Baronis. They did that to good effect yesterday against Omaha. Off the draw. The puck is taken by the Blackhawks, but Walker lost his helmet on the play, so play is stopped. And they'll line them up again. 10:02 left to go in the third period. No reason to expect that the Musketeers wouldn't throw everything at the Blackhawks here, with not a lot of defensemen available. And this is one of those situations where the best defense for Sioux City might be more offense, trying to get extra forwards out onto the ice, trying to essentially create a extra attacker situation even with Baronis still in the net just by having more forwards. Resetting the clock on that face-off opportunity that didn't really happen as intended, with Walker losing his helmet. The extra time that it took, though, to get the clock right, it allows Walker to get the helmet fixed and come back to the face-off against Sikora. Sikora wins it back to Elaine Sumaki. Goes rink wide, parallel to his blue line, into the Blackhawks zone for Klepov, coming up right wing, moving toward the slot with it. Saucers it to Elaine Sumaki, working his way into the left wing corner. Drops it back, a chance, and it goes up over the crossbar and off the end glass for Gavin Gary. Flipped up into the air by Stupka, comes down in the right wing corner. Gary challenged by Walker. Puck gets away from both of them, but then as it comes out of the scrum, it hits Sikora, picked back up by Klepov, back toward the line. Klepov avoids a check, saucers it back to Elaine Sumaki. Wrist shot deflected, didn't get through. And we've got a whistle, and a penalty is going to be called here against the Blackhawks for hooking, and now Sioux City to a power play. It'll be their 5th of the game. 5-2 Blackhawks, 9:28 left to go in regulation. With the hooking call against Montero. Timeout on the ice. A Sioux City power play coming up. We're not done yet. A lot of time left in the third. We'll break and come back after this on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
Right now, someone is having fun at Maple Lanes in Cadillac Extreme Bowling Center. Sure, there's fun for bowlers, but there's also gamers, party animals, and
Wall picked up by Brady, fired around the boards. It gets down to the neutral zone, picked up by Huck up the ice with Deering. Huck gets into the offensive end for Deering, shooting. Baronis the save on a good shorthanded chance right at the beginning of this Sioux City power play. Deering trying to get the puck back in the right wing corner and tie it up so the Hawks can waste as much time as possible. They're not changing any personnel here. Puck comes free and jousted out of the corner, brought out to the neutral zone by Martino, harassed by Huck, got to the Blackhawk line for Gary, turning on the left wing boards. Help arrives from Gunderson, and then he's knocked down by Brady. Puck slides behind the Hawk net. Sikora picks it up, Rims it back to Martino on the right wing side. Martino dropping it back for Gary above the ring. 40 seconds into the power play then for Sikora as the Musketeers work their way into their power play formation. It comes to Gunderson in the left wing circle. Gunderson to the side of the net, it missed Pritchard. He gets it behind the net though and moves behind the goal into the right wing corner. Then for Sikora along the wall on that side. Sikora to Martino, deep slap back for Sikora. One-timer, Bash on the save. Rebound to Huck, he turns and clears. Under a minute left on the power play, 8:20 to go in period number 3. Elaine Sumaki coming on a change, goes to get the puck. The rest of the Musketeers swapping. And now it's brought back to the blue line. Stupka out of his own zone to the Blackhawk line. Then for View, trying to return it to Stupka, jousted up into the air. Comes down in the corner at Vashon's left. Poked by View below the icing line. Stupka had it and now gives it back to View. Dallas View into the right wing circle for Klepov behind the Blackhawk net. Merniks then to Stupka, dropping it back. And a shot coming for the forward Klepov. It's blocked. View gets it back for Klepov again. A dozen seconds on the power play. Klepov at the dot. Back for View. Now to Elaine Samaki, the lone defenseman. He nearly coughed it up, and now he does. And Lansing moves out to center. 3-on-2 if the Hawks want to force it, but Lansing elects to dump it in. Power play time over. 7:25 left to go in the third period. Hawks are back at full strength. View up the ice. Chips it across the Hawk line. The play is offside. And then some pushing between Stupka and Bogus. A linesman get between them. 5-2 Blackhawks. The face-off will be just outside the Blackhawk blue line after the offside call. And the draw here between Bradley Walker for Waterloo and the Musketeers' Jackson Crowder. And Walker won the face-off, but as it was behind him, no one picked it up in a Blackhawks sweater, and Musket got there. Now he collides with Bogus. They both end up in a heap, and Musket unhappy with Bogus as the puck comes sliding back their way. Bogus is going to get a penalty as he hit Musket up high after taking a cross-check first. Officials didn't see that, but they saw the retaliation. And now Compton's trying to get at Musket. Hawks already going to go shorthanded here as Bogus is going to go have a seat. Musket was out of the scrum, and now he's trying to get back into it. Blank and Mason have a hold of each other. 7:06 left to go in the third period. It's power play number 6 for the Musketeers. And another chance to make this an open question. Well, Musket took exception to the legal hit by Bogus. Came up, gave him a whack. Bogus then got caught retaliating. And Sioux City will have another power play with 7:06 to play in the third period. Hawks do have a shorthanded goal in the game. The Musketeers 1 for 5 on the power play. And Bjorn Baronis might be coming to the bench for an extra attacker. He's certainly coming to the bench during the stoppage. And it looks like he is going to step over the boards, and this is going to be a 6-on-4 power play for Sioux City. Linesman Jacob Rosenberg is over talking with both referees, Miroslav Uretz and Kevin McManus, about what the call should be here. 7:06 left in the third. They put up a 2-minute minor on the board. So after Sioux City had a 5-minute power play in the opening period, they're not going to get another one here. Bogus did get Musket up high, but avoids a major penalty. And it will be, by all appearances, a 6-on-4 look for the Musketeers with the net still vacant. 5-2 Blackhawks. Sioux City trying to get back to within 1. Pardon me, within 2. Trying to get back to within 1 as well, but they got to get back to within 2 first. Hawks have led by 3 or more since the 9-minute mark in the second period. 5-2 Blackhawks, 7:06 left to play. And both benches getting details about the call here. Or round up a group of friends, get a group discount. With 10 people or more, you'll receive substantial savings off the face value of your tickets. Book your group outing in advance with the Waterloo Black Hawks front office by calling 319-232-3444. Looks like the draw is going to be outside the Blackhawk blue line, and that will give the Musketeers pause and send Baronis back onto the ice. So it will not be a 6-on-4 face-off. As, well, now Baronis is going to come back to the bench. Musketeers have 6 skaters out there, and they're going to roll the dice. Don't have a lot of options, down by 3 with 7:06 left to go in the third. They did get some 6th attacker goals yesterday in Omaha, and trying to make another similarly big comeback in the third period of this game. Deering and Huck to start the penalty kill for Waterloo. Face off just outside the Hawk line, and the puck was put down unfairly. So they'll try again. Face-offs between Gunderson and Deering. And this is controlled by the Hawks with Huck chopping it down into the Sioux City zone, but it goes wide. It just popped away from the dot towards Huck. He batted it ahead, and that's good enough to waste some time during the shorthanded situation. Not a try, though, for the empty net. Gunderson back up the ice to Gary at the Blackhawk line, then to the end boards, chased down by Deering for Waterloo. He takes it and rolls one down the length of the ice. It was up on edge, goes well wide of the Sioux City net. Musketeers have to start from 200 feet away. 6.5 left in the third. The Blackhawks by 3. Brought back out to center by Pritchard. Harassed by Montero. Got it to the Blackhawk line for Gary. Back for Pritchard. Curling left wing boards. Drops it back Martino's direction. It was deflected. Martino capped it in. Lifts it into the slot. Pedal steals. Tries for the empty net, but Gunderson gets enough of it to make sure it would go wide. Might have anyway. 1:10 left on the power play against 6-on-4 with an extra attacker out there. Gunderson gives it to Pritchard. Avoids Montero. Then to the Blackhawks blue line. The point on the left side, goes all the way to the wall with it and trying to make his way to the corner, stolen away and fired out to the neutral zone by Schultz, but it hit a leg. Trickles down into the Sioux City zone. Martino gets back for it to Gunderson, turning back out to center. Then for Gary on left wing, fell down at the Blackhawk line. Phelan took it away and fires it down the length once again. 40 seconds left on the Sioux City power play, under 6 to play in the third. Blackhawks by 3. Trying to get 4 of 6 possible points during the 3-game weekend just before the holiday break. Sikora into the Blackhawk zone, cuts behind the Waterloo net, comes out on the right wing side after doing a full turn in the offensive zone. Sikora slides one across left wing circle, and too many men on the ice. The Musketeers had 7 out there. They had the extra attacker and then one more, gotten caught in a bad change, and that nullifies the Sioux City power play. 5:27 left to go in the third period, and it will be even strength unless Sioux City elects to leave Baronis on the bench. They're not going to do that, at least for the face-off, which will be in the Sioux City zone. So too many men call. The Blackhawks eventually will have their 6th power play after 22 seconds of 4-on-4 time. Hawks have to keep it to 4 here. Lansing and Mason, Peddle and Compton. Musketeers have Jefferis and Musket, Gould and Mentz. 5:27 left to play in regulation. 5-2 Blackhawks. Here's Lansing for the face-off against Musket. Now Lansing tossed out of the draw. Mason will take it instead. And the face-off ends up in the slot with Lansing getting stick to it, but the puck goes well wide and pushed up the boards. Not out by Gould, who has the most recent goal in the game. Musket has it back. 10 seconds left till a Blackhawk power play begins. Gould from behind his net starts away and avoids Mason. Gets back across the red line to the Blackhawks zone, steers into the offensive end. Hawks back to full strength, and they take the puck away with Peddle feeding it out to Mason. Maybe a 2-on-1 look here with Bogus. Gets it to Bogus for a shot, and it's kicked aside by Baronis. And the Musketeers get it back and are going to be able to waste some time here during the Blackhawk power play. Under 5 minutes left to go in the third. Hawks were changing to a power play unit. Mintz brings it back to center. Gets up left wing into the Blackhawk zone. To the side of the net looking to center. Broken up. Then a wraparound try. Vash on the save. Rebound goes behind the Blackhawk goal. And the puck swiped back by Sioux City only to be given up. And brought back out to center by Hawkins. He turns with it. Slings a pass to Townsend on left wing. Hit there by Mintz. Hawks would be offside. This will waste some more time on the power play, but as long as the clock keeps running, the Hawks probably content with that. As the Musketeers dump it in, Compton retrieves it. Under a minute left on the power play, just over 4 to go in the game. Compton back to the center circle. Decides to tap a pass to Deering. Gets in on right wing. Deering plays it counterclockwise around the wall. Hawkins let it go by. Townsend just there to keep it in for Hawkins under a lot of pressure. Help arrives though from Montero back to Compton high slot. And he decides to let Hawkins try a one-timer, and that one was misfired. The Musketeers unable to clear. Hawkins knocked it down for Deering. Couldn't get it out in front though. Elaine Sumaki took it away. He and Deering collide in the right wing corner. Big hit. Play continues. Deering then cut down. We're going to have another penalty against the Musketeers. Montero slides it across left point. Townsend moves in shooting. Deering stop attempt. Save Baronis. And play is stopped as we've got pushing and shoving near the top of the crease with 6 seconds left on the initial penalty. There was going to be another one against the Musketeers as somebody took a run at Grady Deering after his hit on Elaine Sumaki. Looks like Keefe's going to get a penalty, but Montero might too. 3:33 left to go in the third period. And those penalties may now offset. And it will remain 5-on-4 with 6 seconds left on the original Blackhawk power play. Offsetting call against Montero, it would appear. And it looks like roughing each way. And it will remain 5-on-4 with 3:33 left to go in the third. Hawks 5, Musketeers 2. And the face-off, I believe, will remain in the Sioux City zone. No indication it was going to be moved out to center. Again, Keefe for Sioux City, Montero for Waterloo. And we'll get offsetting roughing penalties. Schultz, Kasiba, and Jete with Brady and Peddle. It is a 5-on-4 face-off. And now Jete comes back to the Blackhawk bench. Hawks only have 4 out there. Officials are discussing this. The Hawks ought to have 5. And if that's not the case, the penalty clock is run. Sioux City wants timeout anyway to talk about it, so we'll get this sorted out. 3:33 left to go in the third period. Timeout Musketeers. 5-2 Blackhawks will break and come back with more after this on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
At our store, we have something for all seasons. This is Ted from Ted's Home and Hardware in Evanston. This is hockey season, and you know we're proud supporters of the Blackhawks. Be part of the Blackhawks family and stop into our family-owned and operated store for value and the products you need for your home and farm.
Find DeWalt power and hand tools to help take on those tough jobs you need to get done. For over 90 years, DeWalt tools, guaranteed tough.
Coming up on Tuesday, UNI Panther women's basketball. The Panther women take on the University of South Dakota. That game's over on Corn Country, 106.5 FM, 5:45 pregame. Tip-off at 6 on Tuesday. The Panthers and the Coyotes. Sioux City spending their timeout. 3.5 minutes left to go in regulation. Blackhawks 5, Musketeers 2. Still 6 seconds left on a Blackhawk power play. And a face-off in the Musketeer zone after offsetting penalties to Owen Keefe and J.J. Montero. The Hawks have Lansing, Huck, and Mason, Brady, and Peddle to play the final seconds of power play time, and likely looking for an extra attacker situation for the Musketeers. That would likely explain the timeout. Hawks win the draw. Huck goes behind the Sioux City net, centering, stop attempt, and a save, rebound! Waterloo scores! It's punched in by Ty Mason. It lay loose in the crease, and Mason got there after Huck motored behind. and centered it. It was free. Looked like maybe Baronis had found it, but he never got control. It lay loose behind him in the crease, and Mason with his first Blackhawk goal. It's 6-2 Blackhawks, tying a season high with 6 goals in this one at 16:35 of the third period. Huck created the opportunity. Lansing might get credit for an assist on it too, but Sam Huck certainly will. And the Blackhawks extend the lead back out to 4. And that probably nixes any likelihood of Baronis going back to the bench for a 6th attacker. Musketeers win the draw. Mentz back in his own zone, circling with it. Slides it to Gould. He's got one of the 2 Sioux City goals off the ice into the Blackhawk line. Across the high slot, turning to the left wing boards. Hit there by Brady. Helped out, though, by Crowder. Stripped of it by Kasiba. And Morgan Brady checked. Musket got the puck. Lost it, though. Blank has it back. Talon Blank rimming it behind the Blackhawk net for Crowder. Works to the corner on the left wing side. Wrapped up by the Hawks' Kasiba. Puck free. Peddle trying to golf it around the boards. Blank took it back, though. Talon Blank avoiding Peddle. Comes out of the right wing corner with it. Dropping it back. Crowder shoots. Vashon the save. Puck to the boards at his left. Kasiba after it. Rolled it ahead. Tipped out to the neutral zone by Townsend. Mentz trying to bring it right back ahead, but lost it shy of the Blackhawk line. Then feeds it across to Musket. He slings it into the left wing corner. 2.5 minutes left to go in the third. Now Peddle for Waterloo to Kasiba. And then for Jete. Knocked away from him. Brought back ahead by Crowder into the Blackhawk zone. Dragging and shooting. It was blocked. Jete plays it to the corner left of the net. And Hawkins bats it out to center. And here's Walker up the ice. Poke checked and couldn't get back to the puck after it was knocked off of his stick by Mentz. Just over 2 minutes left in the third. Blackhawks by 4. Gould with a dump in. Compton keeps it moving clockwise. Tipped out to the neutral zone. Pushed ahead by Hawkins. Waterloo's leading goal scorer to the offensive zone with a try, and that missed the net. Landon Nyes finds the long rebound back in his own zone. Then got turned around. Dallas Feud takes the puck away. Nyes forced him behind the net and wins it back for Waterloo. And it's Compton now for the Hawks with 1:40 left to play in the game, lifting it off the glass. Tipped out to center. It was tipped by a high stick, and play is stopped when the Hawks touch it next. 1:35 left to go in the third period. Sioux City came back from 4 down in the third on Saturday. Not going to happen again. Waterloo up by 4 with 1:35 left to play. And the Hawks once again getting 4 of 6 from 3 games in 3 days when it comes to the standings points, or at least on the verge of doing so with 1:35 left in regulation. Brock Schultz, Gavin Gary for the faceoff. Gary flinched before the draw. Nicholas Sikora will take it instead. Sikora wins it back to Mentz, left point. Trying to work toward the corner. Kasiba got him turned around, but now it comes to Klepoff. Fed in front. Mentz redirected it. It hit the end glass after clearing the crossbar. Now behind the Blackhawk net. Mentz and Mulgrave bang shoulders. It's pushed up the wall. Not out. Gavin Gary slides it toward the right wing corner. Then it's centered and swept away by the Blackhawks Vashon. Kasiba with it for Waterloo. Avoids a check. Fed the one to Schultz. Then for Huck. Trying to tip it ahead. Couldn't get it into the offensive zone. Kasiba with a dump in. And the Musketeers have it back with under a minute left to go. It's Mentz from his own zone. Back out to the neutral ice area. Backhands one ahead. Came toward the net. Vashon covers it up for a whistle. With 47 seconds left to play. Waterloo will go into the break with their 11th win, denying Sioux City the same. They had 10 wins coming into this one and will finish with 10. The USHL holiday break, not the mathematical midpoint of the season, but it kind of feels like it with the long layoff, and particularly long for the Hawks this year. Hawks win the draw, fail to get it out though, and Blank goes behind the Waterloo net. Works into the right wing corner, got spun around by Peddle, and the Hawks able to clear it toward the line. It makes it out to the neutral zone. Dumped back in by Crowder. Half a minute left to go in regulation. Phelan takes the puck for Waterloo, plays it left of the goal for Peddle. Then to Hawkins coming up ice, and Phelan's going to get a penalty behind the play. Took exception to a hit from Blank behind his net at the end of regulation. And Sioux City now to their 7th power play of the game. 21 and 3/10 seconds left to go in the third period. Not going to be a banner night for either team's power play percentage. Both teams were at 25% as of the start of the game and tied for 3rd in the USHL. And both of those percentages likely to be going down unless Sioux City converts on this power play. Face off at Vashon's stick side. Hawks 5-4 with 21 and 3/10 seconds left to go in regulation. And the draw is collected by Bogus, who fires one off the end boards, but not out, kept in by Sikora at the right point, avoiding Mason. 15 seconds left to go. Sikora drops it back. Martino rink wide for Gunderson. Tries a wrist shot. It was blocked. Ends up in the corner at Vashon's right. Picked up by Pritchard. Pritchard drops it back. Didn't find Martino in the slot with Mason blocking the pass. Cue up the final horn at Young Arena. Hawks win. Waterloo defeats the Sioux City Musketeers, winning the final game before the USHL holiday break, at least the last one for Waterloo. The Hawks now have won the final game before the holiday in 6 of the last 7 years, and a 6-2 victory for Waterloo, matching a season high with a big scoring performance against Sioux City, gutting out the 3rd game in 3 days. After a timeout, we'll come back to recap it with the Cadillac Extreme Bowling Center post-game show. Waterloo 6, Sioux City 2, the final at Young Arena. This is Blackhawks hockey on the Courtyard by Marriott, Blackhawks Network, and 1650 The Fan.
Save more with Viridian Credit Union.
30 seconds added to the first 2.
With lower fees and better rates on accounts, loans, and credit cards. At Viridian, you'll earn more on savings and checking accounts and pay less when you buy or refinance a home or vehicle. That's how our members come out millions of dollars ahead each year, giving you more. That's the value of Viridian. Go to viridiancu.org to see how you can save. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA.
Bugsy's Pet Solution. Solving problems, that's what we do. Bugsy's Pet Solution. 239-2772.
It's that time of year. Rodents that are outdoors now will want to come in from the cold. They can bring along diseases no one wants in their home. Stop those rodents from getting comfortable with help from Bugsy's Pest Solutions in Waterloo. 239-2772 or online at Bugsy'sPestSolutions.com. High sticking, cross-checking, gouging. Don't get gouged when you come out to the game. Third-party ticket sites can add huge fees that double or triple the cost of your seats. Skip the search engine. When you order Blackhawks tickets, go directly to tickets.waterloobblackhawks.com. Tickets.waterloobblackhawks.com. Get the best prices, the widest selection, and take gouging out of the game. Blackhawks hockey. Paint the town red.
The Courtyard by Marriott in Waterloo is the place to fuel your passion when you visit the Cedar Valley. Built in the historic John Deere factory, the Courtyard by Marriott is a short walk away from Young Arena,